I have not received that that information that you have now given me in writing that is the case, Commissioner Khumalo.
Okay. If you don't have that information, then maybe it's fine. But that was my recollection of Commissioner Spice's evidence.
Understood, Commissioner Khumalo.
So it may be something that you need to follow up.
Yes, I will do that,
we
Commissioner.
cannot rely on your assurance if that assurance is not factual.
No, definitely, Commissioner. And then I expect him, if a subordinate is telling him that he should have taken action against that subordinate, Commissioner. Yeah. So I will. I
understood that he did eventually, but the initial reaction was that there was resistance to his email. So maybe we can leave that there for now.
But I will still follow up, Commissioner Khumalo, just for my own sanity. Thank you, Commissioner. I think I'm now by 49.
Sorry, while we are on the point, I think in the next section you deal with Inspector Piri. So the question I'm going to ask is, those letters, when Commissioner Spice showed us the letters, there were at least 2 of them that were not signed by Commissioner Piri. They were signed by one person or 2 other people.
Yes. Yes.
And I would need to know why action is only taken against Piri and not those 2 other people. So if you can just anticipate that and maybe deal with it as well.
Yes, I can deal with it, Commissioner Khumalo. Commissioner, as I said, we've launched the investigation. We are still busy with investigation. It's just now over this Easter period also. I've also wrote to the Commission requesting certain information as well to the Secretariat of the Commission, and I will follow up in that regard. But Commissioner, I can really assure you, it will not just be one person. Any person that's implicated, even if it takes for us a day or 2 or a week or 2 to come to that, we will obviously make sure that if a person was involved in matters that they shouldn't have, as I said, consequence management will be implemented. I can promise you that.
Because even people who process the payments, remember there's the request to the security company for ad hoc services, and it comes from Inspector Piri. Now, when invoices come in and people process those payments, do they not care that Piri was not authorized to issue those instructions? Why do they authorize payments running into millions, tens, if not hundreds of millions, when the person who issued the ad hoc instructions was not authorized to do so?
Commissioner Khumalo, you're 100%. We know who processed it. We have the names of the people that from the whole food chain. I can guarantee you, we are busy with that investigation. We know exactly, I've requested through internal affairs, the authorization. I requested who stamped it. I requested based on what. So yes, I can guarantee you, Commissioner Khumalo, we are busy. And then it is not the first or the second or the third person that we are dealing with. I promise you, we are really looking at it thoroughly. And as we look into it, Commissioner Khumalo, we also look into the process. It's no use we are dealing with the people that has done this, but the process we need to look at, and we need to correct the process. So we are doing both of that, Commissioner Khumalo. I can promise you that.
Commissioner, can I think just to exploit the discussion about Piri, please turn to page 98 of the file you have in front of you, file 1.
98?
Correct. This is, as you suggest, part of the corrective measures. Correct?
I'll give you a minute. I'm probably there now. That's correct.
Correct. Oh, let me wait for commissioners.
I have a different 98.
Apologies.
Okay, I'll give you my file when we finish and see what needs to be corrected. My 98 is a document that starts at page 96, and it's a memorandum, tenders to be advertised. Do you have the same, Commissioner?
No,
You have a
Commissioner,
different document?
Commissioner Baloy, I have the,
Okay,
actually
I'll
the
share with the
pre-suspension
chair in the
letter.
meantime.
Apologies, Commissioner Kumala. We'll resolve this issue. Thank you. You will see that.
I'm still Baloy.
Apologies.
Until further notice.
Apologies, Commissioners. At page 98 is a letter signed by yourself, notice of intention to suspend Piri, correct?
That's correct.
And at the bottom there is your signature, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And we know that the emails about stopping ad hoc services or security services happened, or the concern rather, on 12 March 2025, correct?
That's correct.
Will you explain why it takes a year to discipline Piri?
Commissioners, allow me just to just explain. Remember, I've requested Commissioner Spies to investigate. Then, I think by June 2025, he sent it to the internal cities car department, which then also responded that there is, in terms of what they've read, that he can be disciplined. Then we sent it to the Internal Affairs Department of TMPD to do a thorough investigation in that regard. In terms of the TMPD, they then couldn't get certain information because we do not have access to certain information. It was then sent to Deputy Commissioner Dlamini, I think 30th of July. And then Deputy Commissioner Dlamini obviously did not send that documents further, bearing in mind he's responsible for internal affairs. In the meantime, Deputy Commissioner Spies was meeting with the Hawks, as well as he briefed me other departments. He met with them July, August, September, and October. They were then busy with the process, obviously, to make sure that they get more evidence. For that moment, we did not want to disturb the process. Then Deputy Commissioner Spies followed up in terms of what happened to the document. And then obviously we've learned that Brigadier Danny Bernard did forward it to the head of that department, which is Deputy Commissioner Dlamini. And then we found out then, the documents was there by him. And then obviously upon finding that out, we put measures in place and then obviously the systems. And we made sure then that in terms of other information that also came to our attention, that we had then enough also to what I pre-suspension and then suspension in that regard. The investigation, we haven't received the feedback obviously from the Hawks back and the other department that was busy with a parallel investigation. However, the process has been started and we will now run with the process.
Advocate Sikhakhane, just to be fair to Commissioner Faro, if you can go to file 8, this is what I was referring to. Commissioner Spies' statement starts on page 37 of that file.
Apologies, Commissioner, which page?
49.
49.
So his statement starts on 37,
Okay.
but if you go to page 12 of it, maybe on page 48. Are you there?
I am there.
You see the email he refers to is paragraph 41. That's the same email you were referring to. And then it continues, and then if you look at page 49 on paragraph 46, he says, during the following months, it was mentioned at monthly budget meetings that there were still payments of ad hoc guards as more invoices were submitted by one specific service provider, Gubis 85. I then issued a written instruction on 24 June 2025 to stop the deployment of ad hoc services and made clear that no more will be allowed beyond 1 July 2025. Do you see that? So it was not implemented in March, it was only implemented in July because he had been told that he can't do it by way of an email. There must be a written letter issued. So that's how the process unfolded.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. I will follow up on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. I'm going to press on this point a bit. And because these are the problems that we see. What we have is a serious issue of someone who essentially causes about 13 million loss. But it takes a year to actually take action against them. What it would mean is that every time that he's at the office, apart from what you are able to find out, he's a risk, or he exposes the municipality or the TMPD. Would you accept that? And I'm not convinced of that there were these investigations for over a year, unless you can accept that it was truly an oversight of some sort on your part or Commissioner Spees' part. I cannot understand why it would take 12 months literally to discipline him for something so obvious.
I cannot accept that. I just explained that it is not that easy. It's a complex investigation. In terms of you need to look at the invoices, you need to make sure that you have all the evidence as well. The same with any investigation. If you're going to take the person, are you going to suspend the person and keep the person 12 months at home? The person is not in direct doing this, or is not doing this anymore. So he doesn't have control over doing that. So I had to also make sure if we want to, that is departments that is investigating and watching, I had to make sure that we do that as well. So at the moment, as I said, that we feel that we have now, over and above even what we have more than to actually go ahead with the case as well. And as I said, we are still waiting on other departments, but we can't wait on them, rightfully so. If it's any criminal matter, we cannot wait for the criminal investigation to conclude in order for us not to do departmental. In terms of the one that I will agree with is the one in terms of that it was emailed already on the 30th of July to the head of the department. And there should have been more engagement from the head, although Deputy Commissioner Spies has done his part by following up on a monthly basis. He even engaged with the external investigators on a monthly basis. So I cannot accept that Deputy Commissioner Spies failed in that regard. However, I'm also looking at the time frame. I'm looking at the 30th of July that it was mailed to the head of that unit, and I'm also looking at the bigger picture. So the investigations, the more, it's the same like it's here, the more you touch one thing, another thing comes up. So the investigation is vast. And as I said, we've also, rightfully so, as the chairperson has said, we're also looking at other people in the food chain that was involved in this. It's not only the one person. So the more we investigate and we ask questions, the more names are popping up. So I'm requesting that we do the investigation. It is at a very sensitive point at this moment. And I'm even prepared to give the outcome and how far we came once we have now do the investigation into all the others as well, and also the consequence management.
I think, Commissioner, it seems that from the statement of Deputy Commissioner Spies, it does seem that there may have been speedy movement, because if you look at paragraph 47, Commissioner Khumalo referred you to 46. At 47,
yes.
This is where Commissioner Spies says he received an email from Goobies.
Yes.
And then that was on the 26th of June, 25. And then if you read, and then in 48, he becomes aware that Piri is the one that issued those letters. And then you read on the steps that he took, and then you get to 52, paragraph 52.
Yes, I'm there.
And then it says, on 30 July,
that is the one.
internal audit completed the report. This is about a month later. And request to Deputy Dlamini, Umashi Dlamini.
Yes.
And it seems Deputy Commissioner Dlamini is the one that sat with the report from the 30th of July, the way I read this paragraph, until the 10th of March, 2026. Yes. Is that your understanding as well of what happened?
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. That is the 30th of July that I referred to, that
Yes.
Brigadier Manares has forwarded to the head, which is you are 100% Deputy Chief Dlamini.
Yes.
I'm also looking at that in that regard.
Yeah.
That is what I said, that allow me to investigate, and the reason why. Is it because with the person that we are supposed to discipline, that other things will come out? So allow me, because we are really advanced at the states in this regard. I'm talking about the internal investigation, not the one with the external ones.
Yes.
So I'm asking, allow me just to complete. I am prepared to give the feedback in this regard. That is also one of the things I'm looking in, Commissioner Below. You are 100%.
Yes. Well, I was going to suggest that perhaps it is for Deputy Commissioner Dlamini, when he comes to testify, to explain to Mr. Skakane why from the 30th of July 2025 he sat with this report until the 10th of March 2026.
And immediately when I received it, on the very same day, I actioned it.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
Commissioner Beloy.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. Please proceed.
It would seem that the rising cost largely emanated from unauthorized. I think I've read that 48. Am I correct, Commissioners?
Please read it again.
You want me to read it again?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. It will seem that the rising costs largely emanated from unauthorized and irregular deployment of ad hoc security services by Inspector A.L. Piri. He had no authority to issue such directives. Deputy Commissioner Spies has already come before the Commission, and I believe he has provided the relevant context. It is clear that the large beneficiary of the irregular deployment is an entity called Goobies 85 Security Solutions Pty Ltd, to the tune of about or almost 14 million rand. I was not particularly aware of the role of Deputy Commissioner Dlamini and Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Gerrit Menisi, in all of this. I took and trusted them as dedicated officials. I placed reliance on their advisors, and they had never given me any reason to doubt or suspect them. I must say I was taken aback by what came also out of this commission. Then if I can go to the
Just-
aftermath.
Apologies, just to clarify, at 48, when did you learn that Mr. Piri was not allowed or authorized to issue the directives or notices of deployment?
He is not at this level.
I'm
And
saying, when did you understand that?
when did I understand?
That he's not authorized?
When the Deputy Commissioner Species obviously has done his, and when he briefed me in terms of who has authorized this, and then I think it's also in his statement.
Okay, thank you. Please proceed.
Aftermath of stopping ad hoc services. Commissioners, I did touch on this, but I just wanted to read it into record as well. Upon my decision to stop the funds, I faced a smear campaign that questioned my qualifications and acceptance of a 45,000 Rand voucher. I do not understand at that point.
450,000.
450,000 Rand, yes, Commissioner. I did not understand at that moment, but in hindsight, I am of the opinion it stems from that decision of mine to stop the ad hoc deployment. I stood by my decision as I was doing it for the greater benefit of the city and TMPD. I'm referring to page 4, YF9. I later learned of the irregularities in the procurement and payment for the security services. Deputy Commissioner Species has already come before the Commission, and I believe he has provided the relevant context. I have since taken measures to suspend Inspector A.L. Piri, who issued the further deployment letters as seen by Annexure YF10. In addition to this, consequent management is being implemented. Deputy Commissioner Damini is also currently on suspension. Allegations which derive from this commission are being thoroughly also investigated, and therefore I cannot elaborate further here in order to protect the integrity of these investigations, as I already alluded to. And this is not only from the commission, this is just added. There's also, as I said, what we discovered in terms of the investigation.
Now, why are you only looking at further deployment letters? Why are you not auditing past deployment letters? Because it looks like your scope is narrow here. If you are only looking at somebody who issued further deployment letters, this suggests that those that were issued before the decision, you ignoring those.
We did not find any other than the two. But we are also looking historically, and we are looking at that with the internal affairs. They are looking at historically, and they're looking at, we want the scope to be as wide as possible, Commissioner Kumalo. Even if we must go back and really come to the bottom of this, we are really going back. Really, the information that we are requiring, some is difficult to acquire. However, we are not going to back down.
Because it looks
We are not
like,
going to back down.
It looks like there was no accountability, at least in terms of, as I understand it, the way these ad hoc deployments work. These were emergency services. So yes, if you need emergency guarding services at a water plant or at a facility of the city, there would be these letters that are issued. But there doesn't seem to be any monitoring of service levels to determine whether what Gubis tells you. If Gubis says, for example, we employed 13 security guards at this reservoir, it doesn't seem like anybody checked that that was in fact the case, that it was in fact 13 guards at this price per guard. And I mean, this is public funds. People just approved invoices without checking service levels, without, enforcing if there were breaches of some of these service levels. There were no consequences because it looks like these companies continued providing services. In fact, to this day, they continue to provide services, just not additional ad hoc services.
Commissioner, if you go as far back, you will find that, yes. That is why I said the moment it was handed over, find out the complexity of this, put measures in place, that is ongoing. So you are correct. In the past, I couldn't find that there's a measure in place. In terms of checking up and making sure contracted services that where you deploy, you support, what you must have uniform, you must have this equipment. Are you there? Is it the right amount of staff? And then the level, is it the A grade, B grade? That is one of the things that we also are checking to make sure, surprise visit, that at any given time, the guards that is supposed to be in terms of the service level agreement are there. And penalty clauses must be implemented. The penalty clauses is very important. So if you found it is against the SLA, you need to activate the penalty clause that is in the SLA. So Commissioner Kumalo, you are correct. Those were some of the things that we found that was lagging and that we correcting in terms of moving forward.
Thank you. Just before we move to the next section, you are saying that you are still investigating all of these things internally, correct?
Correct.
And obviously, it would seem that until such time you finish the investigation, you wouldn't know how far the road goes, if we were to call it a road. Correct?
It is not such a big section.
Okay.
It's not a big section that is dealing with the matter. So
the investigations are going to be concluded?
Definitely, definitely. It's not a big section. So we, in the meantime, has put measures in place also mitigating. And we're not waiting for the investigation to be concluded. So we are busy also putting the, as I said, it runs parallel, but it's not a big section. And we know exactly who, and then we are really at the end of this investigation in terms of bringing the others to book as well.
Thank you. Commissioners, I think it's for just so that we follow the correspondence around the stoppage of these ad hoc services, so that we, just in the interest of time, can I refer you to file 3?
Yes, I have it.
That will help you. Okay.
I've got it. Right.
Page, Mr. Skakanya?
Page 337.
337.
337, all right at the beginning.
At the beginning. If you go, I think, with the sequence of emails, you go to 343.
Is it file 3?
File 3, yes.
On page?
343, or starting from 342 at the bottom.
I'm starting by 657.
657.
Yes.
File 3.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Mine is at 657. And the sabotage. 657. No, it's not a question.
Is file 3, Commissioners. 342 at the bottom, that's an email. Commissioner Farah, are you there?
342?
342 at the bottom.
Yes, I'm there.
I'm just trying to make sure we all follow. So this is the email from Umashi Dlamini, to Commissioner Rivos Peace, copying amongst others yourself, Deputy Commissioner Boles, and somewhere in the bottom, Chugudu Malachi. And then in that email, this is where he's asking essentially that there must be more funding.
Yes.
And he explains that there's an increased usage of ad hoc services. And then at page 342, the response from Commissioner Spees is to ask 3 minutes later who approved or mandated the ad hoc services. Correct?
That's correct.
Correct. And you were still copied in that. There's absolutely no trick with what I'm doing. It's just so that we follow that discussion we were having, because I think we got broken somehow in understanding the sequence. At page 341, that's at the bottom, that's your email. Can I take it COP means Chief of Police?
Commissioner of Police.
Okay, Commissioner of Police. At the bottom, you then write to Umashi Dlamini and Commissioner Spees, and you say, you express shock about that there's 30 additional sites just for January. And you ask who approved this, and you ask Commissioner Boles. Can you just maybe explain that to us, perhaps in the understanding of ad hoc sites as the debate has been had?
You want me to explain the email?
Correct, your shock around this thing, so that we just follow as we go.
It took me 7 minutes to respond to this email, what I read in the 2 emails. I've then wanted to know the 30 additional sites only for January 2025. I see there's 4 exclamation marks. And then who approved this? The reason why I said Deputy Commissioner Boles, remember, he was still January and February overseeing APSS. Deputy Commissioner, this only started 1st of March. Then I wanted to know, did he approve it, DC Boles? Then I said, I'm not signing off any documentation or requesting additional funds. That moment I was in Mako, and I said, I'm currently in Mako. I'm not going to entertain this. DC Spees, please launch investigation in this regard, because he was appointed the first, this is 11 days after he was appointed. Then I also then again responded, added to the below email, this behavior must stop as it will cause audit queries which will not only affect the department but the COT as a whole. I'm not going to request additional budget for unauthorized ad hoc sites. I will request an investigation and consequence management. 2 reports must be drafted. 1, and that is obviously after he investigated the authorized ad hoc sites, and then also the unauthorized. The authorized ones are easy because we are aware of it. Then I again, a few minutes after that, sent another mail to say, Deputy Commissioners, please stop any ad hoc deployment until the correct procedure determined by you have been implemented, bearing in mind there is no additional funding already. Then I actually, Commissioner Kumalo, I actually referred to this email. And further to the ad hoc C deployment, that is a response from Rivo Spies, obviously to Malatsi. Cease deployment if guards, stop the deployment of all ad hoc guards as with effect tomorrow morning. That is why this was actually the email that I referred to Commissioner Kumalo, where he then immediately, you see that is on the 12th, just a few minutes after I sent the email, actually 4 minutes that he actually gave that instruction. The one that, Commissioner, that you alluded to, that he gave him that lip, I was not aware of that, because that will be between him and his immediate a deputy commissioner, but as I said, I want to look into that as well.
So that formal letter is on 347.
Yes, Commissioner.
And
I've
the
seen
point
this.
was that the 12 March email was ignored. So Malachi ignored it, did not implement it. Reasons were given that it can't be in an email, it has to be in a formal letter, and that formal letter you see followed 3 months later.
Yeah.
3.5 months later, and it's on page 347.
I do see that, Commissioner, and as I said, I want to look into that as well. Thank you,
Thanks.
Commissioner.
Perhaps it would be unfair to ask you, it should have been an issue that Commissioner Spies would have explained.
Yes.
If you say immediate,
Yes.
why does it take
Yes.
another 2 or 3
No, I'm
months
going to look into that definitely.
to then action that?
Yes.
Because these are the things we just say it's going to take time.
Yes.
And then I think Commissioner Kumar was saying then, it's public funds that are being
Yes.
used.
Oh, definitely.
Correct.
I do agree.
Mr. Sikakane, we've learned in this commission that immediately does not mean immediately.
At least, Commissioner, my immediate is immediate. But be rest assured, I'm going to look into all of this because that was my instruction to everyone. I will look into that definitely. I expect if I give instruction, everybody must follow it.
Thank you, Commissioner Kumar. I was restraining myself from highlighting immediately. And then if you go to page 338,
Still the same file?
same file, yes. This is just the last point.
Let's give the page again.
338.
338. I'm there.
Now, this is what comes under cover this email, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
And when you see it, and apologies for jumping around, when you see it, you see two things. What you see is that this is in January, so it seems alone.
Yes.
You've got Trautic Protection Services that has ad hoc sites.
Yes.
Then we have Mohalahadi Security.
Yes.
And then we've got Gubis 85 Solutions Security,
That's correct.
which has sites, according to this, up to 37,
That's correct.
which total 14 million. And obviously, we understand that there would have been 22 companies or service providers. Just at the time, did it strike you that Gubis seems to have been this efficient or favored?
That is part of the investigation.
No, I'm
Definitely.
saying at the time.
Yeah, definitely when I saw it. Definitely. Definitely.
And then just to follow up, with the investigation, how would it cover whether actually the invoices or the actual deployments, if they say they had 2 guards, how would we know that they actually had 2 guards, or they just did not have anyone else?
Exactly.
Is that part of your
That
investigation?
is definitely part of my investigation. To, as I said, what is the reasoning for 20 additional? So we are looking at it. What is the reasoning for that? Where were they? Attendance, everything we're looking into. We're definitely looking into all of those.
And so, would I then be correct, or maybe I'm wrong, to say that previously there wasn't a method to double check that, perhaps? Or it was there?
They have the personnel that must do that checks.
Also, there are people
Yeah,
that do the checks.
there is people that must do the checks. Contract services that must do the checks to see. Does it, as I said, also ad hoc, let me not use ad hoc, surprise visit, just to see also in terms of, I've explained it in terms of the SLA, you must have the SLA with you. The SLA is very detailed to see if you are in uniform, the equipment that you must have, the type of guard that you must have, also the amount of guards that you must have there. Because we are aware that you must maybe have 5, but then you deploy 2. So we are aware of that. So you have that component that must check on that.
Okay.
Yes.
No, thanks.
Mr. Kani, before you leave this page, Commissioner Farrow, just so that it doesn't look like this commission is picking on Gubi's security for whatever reason, I can't remember where I read this, and you don't have to give us a detailed answer now, but I just need clarity on the 3 entities that we see on page 338. Are you also investigating whether or not any of those entities are owned by city officials?
We're looking at everything, Commissioner Kumalo.
Because in one of the documents I have seen, I cannot remember which one, there was an allegation made that the first one there, Triotic, is owned by city officials, as in City of Tshwane officials. That may or may not be true, but my question is simply whether you are investigating that as well.
And then, Commissioner, we will do our investigation in terms of obviously the allocation, etc. When the CFO comes, they have all the information of that security company. I would prefer that you also pose that question to the CFO. I would really prefer that. But in terms of our investigation, we're obviously looking also at you have the 22 companies, and then we look at the how regular and how many, and then that will also be part of our questions, definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely, Commissioner Kumalo.
But I thought Commissioner Kumalo was asking, does your investigation include investigating ownership of these companies that are on your panel?
Obviously, we are looking into all of that. Yes. Because we, as you said, I've read in the supply chain management policy when I started, and it says you must not, one of it says that you must not, conflict of interest, must be, so we're taking the supply chain management policy and see, was there any contravention also from the site, and so that we can have a more detailed type of investigation. As I said, we don't want to, we are not only zooming in, if we are one by one now, consequence management, it doesn't mean we are just dealing with a one person. We have to now start from A and end at Z. We have to get it right. So yes, Commissioner Baloy, we are looking into every single thing. I can promise you that.
Just to assist Commissioner Kumalo, I think it has been in the media. If I may refer you, just out of interest, on that Triotic. Yes, that's file 6.
Bundle 6.
Page 548. It's part of the chats that was shared.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On 549, that's, yeah.
Yes, that's what I just wanted to locate, your understanding perhaps. I didn't intend to at least go through this at this point in time. Thank you.
Yes.
Please put that file away, yes.
Yes. It's on the screen.
Okay, could you please then continue from page 55 of your statement?
So, sorry, we put away file 3.
I will then continue with TMPD 01-2024/2025, land invasion. Tender TMPD 01-2024/2025 relates to the procurement of services for the monitoring and prevention of illegal land and building occupation, as well as the demolition of any illegal structures. The appointment will be for 3 years on an as and when required basis, meaning only when there is land invasion, so you will, and then those that must patrol to prevent the land invasion, it will obviously be the hotspots. I attach a copy of the invitation to the bid marked as YF11. The tender advertisement request, we call it a TAR or TAR, was signed off by me on the 27th of May 2024. I then appointed Brigadier Sipho Sebastian Nkomo and Brigadier J. Mabunda as the departmental representatives at the Bid Evaluation Committee, BAC. The reason why I appointed Brigadier Nkomo, he was that time acting Deputy Commissioner of Specialized Services. And Brigadier Mabunda is the head of land invasion.
Commissioner Farrow, you're confusing me now. When I asked you this earlier, you said only the city manager can make these appointments. Now you are saying to us, I appointed these people as representatives to the BEC.
This is in terms of the TAR.
But what's the difference?
The TAR is the tender advertisement request this is one page that I sign off. So in terms of this, it should be the city manager, yes.
You are confusing me. Who appoints members of the BEC? Remember, that was my earlier question, and you said, no, it can't be you or the CFO, it's the city manager. Does this not suggest that you appointed? Or does it mean nominate?
Nominate.
You nominate and then the city manager appoints?
Nominate.
Or approves?
Commissioner Kumalo, nominate.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. The tender procurement process, I will just correct there, Commissioner Kumalo. The tender procurement process was successfully concluded and ultimately 8 bidders were awarded a tender. Then the tender process was also subjected to probity. Probity review is done by group audit and risk. They check that the process was followed correctly in appointing these 8 companies. I do not know how the tender was evaluated. However, Brigadier Sipho Nkomo will then also come before this committee so that he can just also put it more into context. He will only be giving evidence in terms of that entire process. I do not know how the tender was evaluated, and he will also assist, he assisted with technical expertise on behalf of TMPD. And he will be able to give more context in this regard once he appears before the Commission. Concluding remarks. In conclusion, I wish to reiterate that my tenure as Commissioner of the TMPD has been guided by a steadfast commitment to the principles of integrity, as well as transparency and the rule of law. Since my appointment, I have endeavored to ensure that the TMPD operates not only as an efficient and effective law enforcement agency, but also as a responsible organ of state that adheres strictly to the procurement frameworks set out in the Constitution and the MFMA. I have a specific duty to report corruption under Section 34 of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act 2004. And I'm not only doing it because if I fail, it could result in a 10-year prison sentence. I do it because that is the right thing to do. The Independent Police Investigative Directorate, also known as IPID, in terms of the IPID Act 2011, is broader. Section 29 requires all SAPS members, and commissioners, we are appointed under the SAPS Act 68 of 1995. to notify IPID immediately after becoming aware of graft or other cases falling within IPID's mandate. Contraventions carry also up to 2 years imprisonment.
Have you reported any matters to IPID?
We're gonna do that, Commissioner, I promise you. As I said, our investigation, we already reported to other organs of state, as I said.
Yes.
We are going to, when the investigation is eventually concluded, we are going to make sure any contravention that was there in terms of any law act, we will report it and report it to the national organ of state. What we've picked up, Commissioner, is if you start charging people, they resign and then they just go to somewhere else. And then everybody just leave the case and nothing comes of it because the person has left the employ of whatever municipality. We are not going to allow that. We will still pursue any other contravention and any act. That is what I given to my investigating head to do. That is now acting Deputy Commissioner Danny Manar.
Yes, I think my question is more general than specific. I think in your testimony earlier in the day, you said that you've had cases of members of TMPD being arrested for different things. And one of the examples you gave was bribery, for example. And so my question, it being general, is do you have any cases, not necessarily arising from these procurement matters that we are concerned with now, but do you have any pending matters that have been reported to IPID and that IPID is handling in respect of the TMPD?
Definitely, Commissioner. We also have a quarterly meeting with IPID.
Yes.
And as I didn't actually answer Commissioner Khumalo when you asked, do we implement the recommendations? Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
You offered to deal with it in a supplementary.
But I just wanted to say, yes, all the recommendations coming from IPID, I also get the reports. And I make sure that is one of the things that I monitor to make sure that we implement it. So
and
yes,
I'm assuming in your supplementary you can give us the statistics.
I'll do that, definitely.
You can say, for example, over the past 3 years,
definitely,
there were this number of IPID recommendations. All of them were implemented. Those that were not implemented,
definitely.
What's the reason?
May I correct you, Commissioner Khumalo? Can I have it from the 1st of October 2023? That was under my...
Yes.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Khumalo. You are so kind. Thank you.
Commissioner, you rightly point out or lament that people resign, and then that's the end of that matter. But isn't the solution to that matters must be reported to the SAPS?
Definitely.
As I've understood it, with Ekurhuleni, in respect of Ekurhuleni, similar cases, it's that complaints. And I think Commissioner Spies, as he then was, referred matters to the SAPS, and then those matters were then referred to IPID. From the SAPS, they go to IPID. Isn't that what should be the practice, in fact, the way to circumvent people escaping criminal prosecution or consequences for what is effectively criminal conduct, that complaints should be lodged with the SAPS? And that way a person resigns, they get out of the clause of the IPID, but they remain under police jurisdiction. Have you considered? You are 100% Commissioner Baloyi. As I alluded when I did my background, I'm also the chair of the National Commissioners Forum of the country. We even took that matter up at the national level. We don't only want it to happen at TMPD. What we also do, we deregister you as a Metropolis officer or more a traffic officer, so that you can't also jump to go from one department. And we're also looking at the database that we can also share that information. So you are correct. And also we said we don't want to wait on the South African Police Service and IPID or whoever is investigating to give us a feedback. We need to follow up. And if we see that it stays too long with a person, you can follow up with a senior,
we need to start following up and not leave it and say, I'm waiting on IPAD, I'm waiting on the South African Police Service. We need to trace our case numbers, and we need to trace our cases that we report. So that is what we as the commissioners of the country also want to, busy with actually, and we're looking at standardizing it on a national level. Thank you, Commissioner. Now, paragraph 61. In my commitment, I have taken proactive steps, including the instruction of new control measures to mitigate the risk of irregular expenditure and to safeguard the city's resources. Given what I've learned, I believe it is important that we continue to pay close attention to procurement processes and internal interferences in the manipulation on ongoing process within the TMPD. That must also be done without interference from the person that maybe wants to claim I'm monitoring, but then you interfere as well. I remain fully committed to assisting this commission in its mandate. I hope that the information and documentation provided in the statement, supplemented by the testimonies of deputy commissioners and officials I have designated, and the supplementary homework that I've received, I'm just adding that, Commissioner Kumalo, my homework that I received will provide the necessary clarity on the matters under inquiry. I would also like to highlight to the Commission to assist in protecting those that expose fraud and corruption and any form of irregularities because of what I have experienced. One becomes a target as soon as you expose corrupt activities. And I'm sure after I've appeared in front of this commission, it will not stop. However, commissioners, I will do this over and over again. I would also want to make use of this opportunity to thank the commissioners and all the evidence leaders and everyone behind the scenes. If it was so much intense for me in terms of making sure that you give your statement is there and your evidence and making sure you meet regularly with the evidence leader, I really can not even imagine how much it be for the commissioners that sits here on a daily basis. I really want from my side to thank you for what you are doing for the country and for the province of Gauteng, and I wish that this can be rolled out after Gauteng to all the municipalities within the borders of South Africa. Thank you, commissioners, for the opportunity that I could have be a witness in front of this commission and also have given some clarity and also some information in terms of what was in the statement and then also the evidence that was attached. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you. I think we might have missed the boat, but I think we had started with that. We'll let Commissioner Faro go through her statements and then be not as interruptive, but I think we took some time interrupting. In the interest of time, there are areas that I would like to probe with her. I will not go to too much detail in the interest of time.
Commissioner, thank you for your remarks. I just want to say that what is bothersome is that in many instances, starting with Eguruleni, SAPS, and now Tswane, there has been a lot of movement by the institutions concerned, the action being taken against officials. But what's bothersome about that is that, but for what has been divulged at this commission, it seems that it would have been business as usual. That is quite bothersome. I'm not necessarily directing this at you, but at the institutions concerned. And we are talking this is only subs Eguruleni, and subs, only at the top level, at the level of generals. Yes, there may be an odd brigadier and so on here and there. So that's a very small window, if I may call it that, both at subs and also nationally in terms of only Eguruleni, only Tshwane. So it's quite bothersome because these institutions cannot possibly be outliers. One believes that what we see is replicated throughout the country. That's quite bothersome. But thank you. Yes, Mrs. Kakane.
Mrs. Kakane, sorry, we kept interrupting, so I've almost exhausted all my questions. I only have one. So if you indulge me, I will ask it now and then allow you the rest of the afternoon to deal with what you wanted to deal with.
Commissioner, please feel free, even if you have 2, 3, 4.
Commissioner Varro, my concern was with the asset protection and security services. You, in your statement, had set out what the mandate of a metro police is. And you referred to Section 64 and the alphabetical letters B, C that follow. And I did not see anywhere in those sections where it falls within a mandate of a metro police to be responsible for protection of municipal property. And I think you rightly said that the owner, the person who's accountable for these properties, is actually the COO. Is it right that the Metro Police should be responsible for this? And what has been your experience when you were at, I think you were at Nelson Mandela Bay and then City of Cape Town at some point? Is it the same in those municipalities that the Metro Police Department is responsible for this function of asset protection and security services? Or is the position different there?
Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo. It does not fall under the Metro Police, Commissioner Kumalo. It falls under, it is a leg on its own in Nelson Mandela Bay under safety and security. The same within the City of Cape Town. City of Cape Town also has got Metro Police, they've got traffic services, they've got law enforcement, they've got VIP services. So Metro Police does not fall under Metro Police also in the City of Cape Town.
So it seems like Tshwane is confused because you corrected yourself and said it was not an insourcing. It was almost a parallel movement from one section within City of Tshwane to another. Even Tshwane is confused because they're not quite sure where this department or this section or this function should fall. I mean, is that not a problem? Because I'm not sure that the Metro Police are qualified, and I could be wrong. I'm not sure that they are qualified to deal with this department because their function is really bylaw enforcement and assisting with crime prevention and all those things that you have mentioned. Now, to be dishing out tenders where you're spending billions of rands, I think the amount we had was 2.9 billion the other day. I mean, it's a serious concern to me because I don't know that the Metro Police are qualified to be dealing with those things. Commissioner,
I'm the city manager, the accounting officer gave me the letter, 1st of July 2024, and he says, asset APSS is with you now. I believe when there was, remember when we established Metro Police all over the country? Like in Cape Town, they took traffic services, law enforcement services, and they made it a Metro Police with all the others. The same happened here when they had to start the Metro Police in 2002. So whatever departments you had was more like a law enforcement safety, it was under there. That's why originally, when they did start the Metro Police, APSS was part of Metro Police 2002. And then, as I said, 2021, April, it was moved away via a memo from the then Executive Mayor, Randall Williams. And then the 1st of July 2024, it came back to Metro Police. Should it be with Metro Police? Commissioner Kumalo, you're going to get me into trouble. I would say if you protect maybe the assets of the city, who is the owner of the assets of the city? So it must either be with the COO, who's got the infrastructure, whether it is the reservoirs or whether it is the electrical substations, or the GSO, who is responsible for all the buildings of the municipality. So
I'm saying, because here's the thing, when you do eventually insource all the security guards, if you do, let me not say when, if you do eventually insource all the security guards, they won't become Metro Police officers because they are not appointed in terms of the SAPS Act.
yes,
So they will become employees of the city of Tshwane, and they will become security guards working for Tshwane. TMPD can be responsible for them. So that's why I don't understand why that function, because it is outsourced, TMPD is responsible for it. But if it were insourced, those people would not be TMPD officers, and they would therefore be employees falling under a different department. But I mean, maybe the CFO is better placed to answer some of these questions. I was just posing it to hear your view. And if you don't want to get into trouble and you prefer not to answer,
I'm a person
Chair is
that will
happy
answer.
Chair is happy that we allow you to say. I will leave it for the CFO.
Unfortunately, I have to be honest, Commissioner Kumalo, and that was my honest opinion. Because, Commissioner, you are correct. If you look at who is the owner, if you look at anybody's property, Metro Police is not looking after. You've got your own security company. So you, as the owner of that house, the state is not going to put a policeman outside your house or a Metro Police officer. You, as the owner of the house, must make sure that you have even security measures in place, whether it's a camera, whether it's you must make sure you've got a fence around your house, and then you must make sure that maybe a security company will respond if you press a panic button. So that is logical thinking, and you are correct, Commissioner Kumalo.
Thank you, Mr. Skakan.
Before you go, Commissioner, in the very last paragraph of your statement where you speak about protection of whistleblowers effectively, you're expressing something similar to what Deputy Commissioner Spies expressed and his experience. My question is, does the city have any measures or anything in place that protects, or that seeks at least, to provide protection to people who want to speak, to whistleblowers? And if the city has, what in fact does it have in place?
The city is allowing you to, obviously, if there's information that you want to come forward, that you can do that, whether it is through the group audit and risk, whether it is through the office of the city manager. The city do have measures in place. What I'm really referring to, Commissioner, is that if I take Deputy Commissioner Spies, his remarks that he's a spy and there's silly remarks that is being made, where I think you should applaud people that come forward to actually are not part of the pack and wants to make sure that we do the things the right way. Commissioner, Chairperson, I said I'm gonna say something on a lighter note. When I leave here, Chairperson Madlanga, you will have to pay Lebola because my surname is gonna change to Commissioner Madlanga wherever I enter. The Faro is gone when I walk out of here. I will send my family over. So that is Commissioner Spies, that is his name. Madlanga. There's no Spies anymore. And I actually find it, yes, we can laugh about it. However, I actually feel if you in this country come forward against fraud and corruption, why are you becoming the target? People don't want to be around you. People feel like, what are you doing? You're supposed to come to work to do your work and to do it the right way in terms of all the policies and procedures that are there. However, the moment you speak out or you are a person that makes sure that you stop, as I said, when I stopped that ad hoc, immediately, there was things fabricated.
I'm asking the question to establish whether the system, I'm asking about the system, whether the city has a system in place which allows people, for example, to speak confidentially without fear that what they say will soon be told back to whoever they were telling about. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But what you're explaining as requiring protection from is, it seems to me that that's more a cultural issue of an organization, even country, that we have that problem. People, even when you've got the mechanisms in place, eventually people will come to know you're going to testify in court and they're going to ostracize you. And those kind of things seem to require some cultural changes. That's not the kind of question I'm asking. I'm asking in terms of systems in place. For example, if Deputy Commissioner Spies is being harassed, or you even, because you have taken the kind of steps and decisions that you have taken in the discharge of your functions, does the city have in place things like such employees will be disciplined, for example? If you harass me because I'm doing my job and have stopped you from spending money and I've actually started disciplinary processes against you, does the city have a system and a culture where action can be taken against those people to discourage that kind of behavior? Because there's a level at which it's behavior and cultures that have developed over time and something has to be done to stop it. But that's a different conversation to, is there anything in place at all? Or we don't have anything in place that allow people to act without fear, with some kind of protection. It may not be perfect, but there are ways I can go anonymously to report the chief financial officer for having instructed that purchase orders must be created long after the service had been provided. Is there anything like that in the city? Is really what I'm trying to determine.
I think we have something in place. We've got a fraud line. We have, but I think, Commissioner, because we have never had a type of a commission of inquiry, it needs to be refined to include also when it comes to appear in front of a commission. I think it's just, as you said, it's maybe standard. However, we need to make sure that we look into that, and maybe not only in municipalities, but all government establishments and departments, to make sure, the same it was with COVID. We never knew COVID, and then we had to put things in place in terms of COVID. We never knew wearing masks and all of that. So the same thing, the commission is a very good thing of inquiry. And I think whatever policies we have or directives we have or SOPs we have, we need to refine it now around that. That is even part of mine at my department, that I'm going to work with as part of my workshop, that I want to include it so people can feel free. But then it needs to be in each and every department. It maybe comes from also, as I said, we need to refine it and include it. And then we must make sure that there is, I'm maybe lucky that I have my detail with me because of the post that I have. However, it's not everybody that's got the detail because of the post that they have. And we maybe need to look at that and then also make it easier for people, much, much more easier to report, and that you know also there's going to be consequence management. Because it's no use you report and that person stay in the government environment or in the municipality, and that person is even aware confidentiality is also very important. And that person is aware you are the person that came forward. So all of that we will have to maybe refine it a little bit to make sure we include the commission as well, and then also what we experience practically, and maybe make that also part of outcome, Commissioner Baloy. I think that will help a lot. Thank you, Commissioner Baloy.
The second is a clarification on something that we dealt with earlier, but maybe before I do that, let me conclude this part by saying you have, for example, under the Commissions Act, where it's a criminal offense to interfere with the work of the commission.
100%.
So if someone who has testified or is about to testify is being harassed in whatever way, the perpetrator may well easily fall into you are interfering with the work of the commission, and it may well be that in the city or in the forum of police chiefs, you may want to start that kind of discussion. Yes. But the second thing that I wanted to raise is, and it's more to clarify, in the correction that you made, remember we had that discussion about insourcing and just moving people across. And I accept the correction that you have made. But does it mean, therefore, that Tshwane has never done an insourcing exercise?
The 1,271 was insort or capacity built in 2019. So that's why we have the outsource. And the 1,271 was insourced. Okay. However, as I said, it was insourced, but they did not include or make sure that there's a plan, and we did it now. Let us train them. Let us make sure they have medical aid. Let make sure they've got pension. Those things were not, so they were insourced, but they failed to implement that
plan. Okay.
So that is also what I was busy with now all the time, and we picked that up, and we made sure that over the 3-year period, first you get your medical aid. They also didn't get a 13th check. So all those things we had to actually make sure that that in-source staff or the capacity built, in-house capacity, that we make sure we correct that before we can even in-house capacity build more. Let us first correct that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thank you, Commissioners, and thank you, Commissioner Faro. I will try to just highlight a few points and ask, when necessary, for you to assist us back to your statement. You've spoken about your duties or roles and functions, and part of it is that you bear the ultimate responsibility for the TMPD.
Yes, that's correct.
And part of that also goes to recruitment, appointments, promotion, transfer of members. And part of that also includes managing discipline.
That's correct.
Correct. Would you, you've spoken to us or testified that you are engaged in in corrective measures for those members that you have since discovered that there was something wrong.
That's correct.
And that would be Mr. Piri, and there's further investigations
Yes,
into other
that's
things.
correct.
And hopefully, I think you can agree with me where I was having a difficulty that in order for these things to happen, they do need to move with some speed, otherwise they become problematic.
Yes, definitely when it's, except when there's a complexity of audit, but definitely you are correct. And that is what I do with all my investigations. This is just a little bit different.
Indeed.
You are correct.
And then in terms of your deputy commissioner, the one that's vacant, how long you said it's been a while, what are the plans about?
We have now started the process again.
Or you
Yes, we have
advertise?
already started the process.
Okay.
It's just now the holidays that came in between, but definitely. But I want to put it on record. If I, again, don't find the right person, I will have to re-advertise again. I'm not just going to appoint somebody for the sake of appointing.
Thank you. And also, I think we've gone too many things. My job is truly to lead evidence more than have views. Can we go to the file 3? I'm just dealing with the part of the evidence. I apologize that I just at least have to put on record.
I think it's there. Officer. How to? Thank you. I've got it.
Page 382.
Got it. I'm there.
Thank you.
I'm there.
Thank you. You see, this is a notification for deployment for Gobis.
Yes, I can see
And
it.
at Thank you. I'm not going to be too long on this. It's just a matter of highlighting the evidence, what builds up
Yes.
the problem that we are facing. This is a notice, and I would imagine there's no doubt about it. But at the bottom there, we see that the person who is signing, and we'll obviously put it to him whether it's his signature, is Mr. Piri.
Yes, 100%.
And Commissioner Spies has spoken or came to testify and identified that Mr. Piri signed these notices and that he was not authorized.
Yes.
And I suspect, and earlier on, you said the same
Yes.
thing.
I agree.
And then these deployments go up to page, up to page
424.
Correct. And in the majority, they are signed by Mr. Piri.
Yes, that's correct.
Perhaps to avoid at the risk of speculation, would you know why he would be the one that's signing? What are the possibilities for signing these deployments? Or maybe let me put it this way, in terms of his level, where is he and who does he report to? And as far as you know, could this happen properly?
Obviously, this is not, I've already said previously, this is what we picked up and it's caused an investigation. And then we found obviously that this is also stemming from the email that was sent to say that is on the 12th of March. This is part of that investigation.
Correct.
And that is part of that evidence.
Correct.
that these sites, so it's stemming from there, and obviously if he is today on suspension, and then there's a investigation still, more investigation pending, clearly that this is not what should have been done.
And who does he report to?
As I said, there is other members that we also looked at, and we must also remember, I said previously, IPSS doesn't have a proper command and control system in place.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, we are looking at everybody, even the person that is reporting to, in terms of this. We are also looking at the time, because remember, he was transferred also, he was also at, although he's a Metro Police officer, he was, or he is assisting, or was assisting at IPSS. With this movement and everything, movement of staff from one management to another, I would call it.
Understand what you're saying. He is in TMPD.
He was a TMPD officer, but with the movement, Commissioner Beloy, they've moved the staff. Staff had a choice if you want to move with to the office of the city manager to obviously assist, because you can't leave a vacuum.
Yes.
So some remained behind when that was maybe assisting and said, you know, they had a choice. I will remain. Others went with. So there is where Piri's involvement came in terms of Inspector Piri of IPSS. So he was then part of assisting there by IPSS.
Yeah. I thought I understood the structure as you're explaining it, but now I'm confused. Initially, they were moved to the city manager's office.
Yes, 100%.
Okay. And then returned now to
back to TMPD.
TMPD.
Yes, 100%.
So where is he sitting now? At the date of page 382, which is the 15th of January 2025 period. 14
that
January.
He was back at Metro Police, because remember 1st of July 2024?
Yes.
They moved back. So
he's in TMPD
yes,
at the time
100%,
as he issues
100%.
these instructions. And he reports to somebody. Who does he report to?
He
must report to somebody.
No, definitely he's reporting to somebody.
Yes.
I must just double check, but that's why I don't want to. I want to give names here if I'm not 150% sure who does he report to, because of the back and forth and back and forth. So
the overall head, where he's sitting.
Oh, the overall head.
Is Lamini the overall head?
No.
Who is the overall head?
The overall head will be Deputy Commissioner Spies.
Where Spies is now?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
All right. But at January 2025?
That was Deputy Commissioner
Bolhuis.
Son Bolhuis.
It was Bolhuis at the time. Yes. Okay. So at January 2025, his ultimate head would have been Bolhuis at that time.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Okay. Thank you.
That's correct.
All right. Thank you.
My apologies for confusing you.
Just while we are on this, the other person I was talking about is on 399 and 400. So you'll see that for those two purchase orders.
Say again the number.
Page 399
and
400.
I'm there.
So those are the two during that period that were not signed by Piri.
Yes.
And my question was,
this is one of the persons that we identified.
Why was that
100%.
person not suspended?
Yes, no, we are.
If the investigation has revealed
that is the 100%. You are correct. You are correct. We are looking at actually if we can't find actually more. If you look at the first one, there was a little bit of a stack. So this one we're also checking, and also I said the person that we also said in terms of the invoices, and did you check, is it according to the standards, and was it supposed to be done? So yes, that is part of the food chain. You are correct.
So this Dr. Madlanga is a senior superintendent. Does he also, I don't know whether it's a he or she, do they report to
Also, yes.
Police?
To police that time.
Yes.
And now to SPIS. That
Now
is
to
correct.
SPIS.
That is correct.
And you're saying that obviously there's some reasoning why
Yes.
he's not placed on
Yes.
suspension.
Yes. There's a reason to that.
That's that. Then I think the next section, which I'm going to run through very quickly, in the interest of time as well, is what has happened in your department. And for that, could you please take file 5? Now, this is a file containing WhatsApp chats, and I think you may be familiar with them, and in the commission when Sergeant Kosi came to testify.
If you take me to the page.
I'll take you to, but I'm just saying I'm telling what this is
Yes.
about.
That's fine.
And I understand you may be at a disadvantage in the sense that these are not your WhatsApps, but I just want to highlight a few things for you. Then we'll go to the other issues. One is that what we see in these chats generally is that there is a close relationship between the CFO, that's Mr. Mnisi, and Mr. Nkosi, Sergeant Nkosi. And if you look at it, they call each other bras, they go to the shooting range. They seem to have a very cozy and very close relationship between the two of them. I don't want to take you through to each WhatsApp, but just accept that's what I'm saying. As an example, if you go to page 10 of that file,
I'm there.
they talk about where are you, my brother, and they refer to, okay, my bro, we can meet tomorrow. And there are quite regular meetings between the two of them. That's the first point, that just in the interest of time. But also they share a lot of documents that are internal within the city. I'm going to go through that document now. If you go to page 65,
I'm there.
at page 65, you'll see it's a screenshot, and I don't want you to engage with the contents, but essentially, this is a screenshot of a text of an email that is drafted by Nisi, and is forwarded to Sergeant Kosi. You see that? And also, he has a message underneath that says, please read and confirm if all is in good order before I send. That would read to me that he's asking for Kosi's permission about sending a message in an official capacity. Then another example of this brotherhood is at page 96.
And there?
And then at the, just below the mid section, Sergeant Kosi, take it for granted that that's his number, zero tolerance. He says, compliments my brother, indeed in you I found a true brother. You see this coziness between the two of them.
I do.
Then if you then turn to the following page, at page 99, that's the CFO sending a tender advert to Mr. Nkosi, and then he advises him and says, Mfethu, I have sent the above to Peggy, we need to regroup on it. Now, I accept that you're not the person that wrote that message, but what it does suggest is that, rightly or wrongly, the CFO is sending an internal advert, as it were, to Sergeant Nkosi. And it seems that they say we need to regroup on it, meaning there is some coordinated effort of some sort. Correct?
Yes.
That's how it reads anyway.
Yeah. This is how I
The
understand.
CFO will come through.
Yes, the CFO will obviously.
And then if you turn over to page 100, it would seem towards the bottom, the CFO says he's going to Durban, he's going for a massive business deal that side. You see that. So they also clearly share some and then if you go to the following page 102, then it's an example of another meeting, and the CFO says, can we meet today, please? So it's another incident of these regular meetings between the two of them. And as you can see, the file is thick with a lot of messages exchanged between them. And then 103 is a continuation of that. Okay. Then if you go to page 114, at the bottom there are engagements. At the last message, this is from CFO, he says, just finished. What time do you think you can be this side? You think I can get a bank account in the meantime? I don't want to delay any further. And then at the following page, then he then also says, let's meet. Correct.
Correct.
So, and then go to 117. Then it's at the bottom, it is Mr. A photo. Then below it, this is CFO saying, it's okay, my brother, we are managing this guy, my brother. I just wanted to show you, Mbungulu will never win. Right? Now, what I'm trying to point out to you is that they seem to have some interaction between them. And because it seems to have some access to the CFO of some nature. Another example of their close relationship is graphic at page 125. Towards the bottom there, it's at 18 February, where he says, Mfowethu, I was thinking of you. That's again a very close relationship that we see. But I want us to then go towards February, towards March. Go to page 133. 133.
I'm there.
And the CFO asked Sergeant Kosi, who's Siponkomo or Joe Mabunda from TMPD. Right, and then next page.
Oh,
Would that be yourself?
where does he get the photo of me? My apologies, commissioners. I'm just now shocked to see there's a photo of me here.
Is that Sipo? Do you
Yes,
know
and
Sipo?
this is the day, I think it's the second day that I'm at Tshwane Metro Police, where I called all the seniors in my boardroom and I introduced myself. Second or the third day, this is where this photo is stemming from.
I see.
Yes, so yes, this is Brigadier Sipo Sebastian Nkomo. Yeah, I introduced myself as the new commissioner. I called all of them into the boardroom so that they can not see me through an email or messages. I wanted them to meet me in person. So this photo is from 2023.
Okay, and then Joe Mabunda, the following page at at page 136.
And there?
This is the investigation that Celia's Brink talks about. I think we referred to it about one of the suppliers, about investigation into a security tender. Do you know anything about this?
No, I don't.
Okay.
As you can see, it's not. It is from a political party.
Okay, that's fine. Then go to 141.
I'm there.
Thank you. At the top, we start with a lot of calls between the two of them. But then towards the bottom, the second last, the CFO says is General winning. Do you know General by any chance? Who do they refer General as?
I don't know if it's a general in South African Police Service, because we do not have generals in Tshwane Metropolis or in the Metropolis. We've got commissioners and
Correct.
deputy commissioners. So.
No, that's fine. I think the
I
testimony.
think, if I'm not mistaken, I think what was revealed in the evidence was that between Mr. Mnisi and Sergeant Kosi, the general was Deputy Commissioner
Mashi.
yes, Dlamini.
Mashi, yes. I was going to just put it because I'm going to juxtapose it later on. Yes.
He is on a general, he is on a rank of a major general, and
I'm not suggesting that that was the official,
that
but
is his-
when they communicated,
Okay.
when they said general, they were
Okay,
referring to
I understand. now.
Deputy Commissioner Dlamini.
I understand.
Yeah.
And do you know if, just out of curiosity, whether there was any relation between Umashi Dlamini and the CFO? Do they know each other? Do you know?
No relationship that I am aware of.
Okay.
On several occasions, even in the management meeting, if there's a matter, then I'm the one that liaising with the CFO, because remember, we are Section 56 appointees.
Okay.
So, no, there's no relationship. Yes, in terms of his administrative support function, he will deal with, obviously, with the CFO's departments, and if he's acting in my state, then definitely will liaise with the CFO. But no relationship that I'm aware of openly, definitely not.
No, that's fine. Thanks. we start to see, this is now in March 2025. And you'll correct me if I'm wrong, this is just after the ad hoc services were signed off by,
Okay.
just to contextualize it, or at least I see the evidence leading to. Then we at 142, at the top,
I'm there.
he then says, this is now Sergeant Kosi, he confirmed it will be sorted. Now, he will give feedback soon, before 12. Then below that, CFO says, okay, it's not yet in my system. You see that. And then Kosi crosses fingers.
I see that.
Then we go over to 143. At the top, there's a message where he says, he said he won't disappoint.
I see that message.
Below that, CFO says, thanks, Mfwetu. And then below that says, morning, Captain. This is a forwarded message, and I'll locate it. Please just confirm from Mfwetu Uguti I'm processing the issue, and I've spoken to Kane and Vusi also to increase the target value as the amount is a bit higher, and as soon as all of them are released, I will let you know for his intervention to ensure that Tommy makes payment urgently. You see, this is an engagement about money.
I can
about
see
payment.
that, definitely.
Correct. Do you know of Kane and Vusi?
I don't know who's the captain, because he's greeting morning, Captain. In terms of, I don't know who Vusi is. And who is this message to the CFO? Because I
Yes,
see
to these are chats
the
between
reason
the
why I'm
CFO and
confused is
Kosi.
Mpumalanga in
Yes,
Isentshwane.
but it has been established.
Oh,
I think that's where he
no.
comes from.
Okay, thank you. If it's to the CFO, the names that I can, and I don't know because there's no surname, so I don't want to assume. I do know there's a Kane and a Tommy when it is in the SCM, the supply chain management. The Vusi, because there's lots of Vusi, so I don't know really, so I don't want to now assume.
Yes.
But if I just look at, because you say this is our CFO of Chwane, that I do know that Kane and Tommy, those names,
Okay.
if it is that they are referring to that, because there's no surnames.
That's fair.
And you say both, if it is the right ones, both Kane and Tommy are in supply chain management?
Yes, they are, or the group financial services.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Thank you.
Definitely Commissioner Baloy, if it is them.
Thank you. But just to contextualize this, I do apologize. Just leave that file open. Go to file 6.
6. Got it? I'm getting good at this. I've got it.
You've got it. Let me wait for the commissioners. In the meantime, turn to page 427.
427.
Yes. 427.
On there.
In the middle, well, let me just first contextualize. These are WhatsApp chats between Umashi Dlamini, General, and Zero Tolerance, who's Nkosi, Sergeant Nkosi. In the middle, there's a message, and I'll read it. It says, morning, Captain.
That's chat number 4.
Chat number 4, indeed. Sorry, apologies.
Yes.
Can you see?
Yes, I'm there by chap number 4. Thank you, Chairperson.
It says, morning, Captain. Please just confirm from Mfwetu Uguti I am processing the issue, and I've spoken to Kane and Vusi also to increase the target value as the amount is a bit higher, and as soon as all of them are released, I will let you know for his intervention to ensure that Tommy makes payment urgently. You see, it's identical.
It's identical.
So this message was then forwarded by Sergeant Nkosi
Okay.
to CFO for payment. So the discussion is around payment. All right. While we are there, you will then go down in the same file towards the, I think, chat 7. And it says Mfowethu is the general winning, right? You see that with three
Yes, yes,
question
sir.
marks.
Yeah, I see.
If you then go to file 5, you see that
Yes,
same message,
identical.
right? So what seems to be happening is that Nkosi is playing middleman between the two about discussions. You see that?
Yes, I do see.
All right. Then go down, still at 143, file 5 now. Commissioners, you may just put away file 6. We'll come back to
So
it
we
later
went
on.
to file 5.
File 5. I think that's where we were
Oh, where
initially.
we were.
Yes. Then the second last message from Sergeant Gosen is, yes, we have won, busy with creating requisitions and at the same time releasing them in order for buyers to create POs. You see that?
I see the message.
Now, he is owning the process and says we
Yes,
have won but either way, he's in the middle of it. Now, you'll recall earlier we're dealing about ethics in the
Yes,
SCM
yes,
policy. Just at your level, would you say that Sergeant Nkosi has any role to play in these discussions?
Definitely not. So isn't Sergeant Nkosi from the South African Police Service?
Yes, it is.
He is not the employee of the City of Tshwane or supply chain management. No, I fail to understand what is his role.
Okay. But then it would be a problem if that was the case.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. What it would also highlight is that within the TMPD, there is a problem.
No, definitely, if he is playing a role that he's not supposed to from external department.
Yes.
Also, in terms of the previous, all the messages that you have read into record and took us through, yes, it's concerning, definitely. With
And
the
obviously,
CFO.
General Umashi Dlamini, who's also an important figure here, is your deputy commissioner.
Yes, he is.
Okay. You turn to the next page, 144.
I'm there.
And I'm not picking, you will see that Sergeant Nkosi then sends a Kubis invoice.
He's not employed by them.
He sends a Kubis invoice to CFO. And the caption there is that this one is for the previous financial year. We will engage later. We'll engage later Nomfwetu on how to address it in order to avoid post facto. You see that?
I see.
There are two possibilities how he could be in possession of that invoice other than finding it in the floor. It's either he has it from Kubis or someone within the TMPD gave him. And we see there at the bottom, the signature in the invoice is TP Malachi. One could assume that it has to be Mr. Chukut Malachi.
Yes, that's correct.
Then the message below is thanks Mfowethu. Go to the following page. I will try, I think I will try and The next, at the top, there's a message, evening captain. You see that?
Yes, I do.
Right? Can I ask you, and I do apologize, commissioners, to go to file 6?
Just again, sorry. 429.
429, apologies.
Got it.
At the top, it's chat 1.
Yes.
You'll see that message is identical to the message at page 145.
Yes, it's identical.
And that would also again indicate that there is a web of
Yes,
sorts.
definitely.
And Sergeant Kosi plays some role
Yes.
in that web. And then at page 145 of file 5, then CFO says, thank you for it, much appreciate. Much appreciated. Let's push to finalize everything tomorrow so we can pay those guys before Friday. At the bottom, there's another message from him, the second last one. He says, please extend my gratitude to the general. He has delivered. POs as per the request have been approved. See you later.
Yes, I see that.
That's just on that segment. Now, what I was trying to achieve or to show you is that you've got an intervention around the same time of these ad hoc payments.
Yes.
Where there was a request for funding, but there is this, it may be or may not be related, but you've got Kubis being central here, and also their invoice is being processed, so to speak.
Definitely.
And you've got someone external that is there, that seems to be the facilitator. And just to avoid any waste of time, Sergeant Kosi did come and testify and didn't dispute that he did play some role in assisting in the processing of payments. But it may be from the fact that it out of his nobility, not anything. Okay. What we then go to is the relationship between, we're still going to come to this file, is the relationship that I'd like us to go through with your employee or deputy commissioner and Sergeant Kosi. That's in file 6.
May we at this point just take a quick comfort break. Let's adjourn. Our spokesperson will indicate when we're coming back. It won't be long. Let's adjourn. Because according to Mr. Skakane, there's still some ground to cover. We have decided to adjourn for the day and resume at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Let's adjourn.
So yes, in that meeting, we the TMPD. TMPD was established in
Sorry,
April.
Commissioner.
When I stand by it.
Please go to the last page, page 23 of that statement. is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
All right. In terms of process, what I'd like us to do is for you to go through your statement, which you've prepared, take us through with the commissioners and the public, and explain where you need to or elaborate where you need to. At this point, we'll try and be not interfere a lot, but we will try, at some point the commissioners may well ask questions or I may have questions. And thereafter we'll then probe in line with our terms of reference and questions. Thank you. Please start.
Before you start, Commissioner, Mr. Skakane, please pull the mic closer to you if your devices will permit. Thank you.
Is that fine? Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Commissioners. I will start with my table of content. I will do an introduction. Then I will do a background and appointment, and my role as the TMPD. C, I will do procurement and best practices. Handover of asset protection to TMPD, also known as APSS. I will then also touch on D, TMPD 2016/2017, security services, request for additional funding, aftermath of stopping ad hoc services, and under E, I will touch on TMPD 012024/2025, land invasion, and then I will start with my concluding remarks. Introduction. I, the undersigned, Yolanda Catherine Renee Faru, do hereby make oath and say that I am an adult female residing in Pretoria. My place of work is the Tshwane Metro Police Department headquarters, and that is in Pretoria West. Having assumed the role of the Commissioner of Tshwane Metro Police on the 1st of October 2023. Save where otherwise stated, or where it appears from the context to the contrary, the facts contained herein are within my personal knowledge and are, to the best of my knowledge and belief, both true and correct, and I do swear positively thereto. In respect of my time before my appointment, I rely mostly on documents which I have access to by virtue of my position and which are under my control. Over the course of my position, I have consulted officials under me to obtain more information and context in relation to certain matters, particularly set out below. Where I make reference to the regulatory framework that is based on my interpretation and how such has been applied. I do not understand that the statement requires me to make legal submissions and accordingly refrain from doing so. I depose to the statement to assist the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Criminality, Political Interference and Corruption in the criminal justice system arising from the specific allegation made public by Lieutenant General Kwanazi on 6 July 2025. I do not intend to be verbose in the statement and will try to deal with specific areas of concern relevant to the terms of reference of the Commission. Recently, I have observed certain things within the Tshwane Metro Police Department, also TMPD, which has led me to take certain corrective steps and where necessary consequence management are in progress. However, over the past weeks, I have come to learn with great shock and dismay on what was apparently taking place in the TMPD, whether it was before my tenure or whether it was now in this time. It is not, it would seem, issues of irregularities, but clear systems of siphoning of money and criminal activities. The structure.
Sorry, Commissioner. I'm just thinking you are saying siphoning of money both before and during your tenure are matters that you, or rather is a matter you became aware of now recently. What do you think a commissioner needs to do to be aware of such a phenomenon as and when it arises?
Chairperson.
Well, I'm just thinking if there was no Madlanga Commission, when would you have become aware of this phenomenon?
Chairperson, I will indicate in terms of the stopping at the ad hoc, and I will explain when it will make sense and the picture will get clearer. In terms of I was appointed as the Commissioner of Tshwane Metro Police Department. And the matter that we are referring to, it mostly is the APSS. So I will delve into that, and I will also recommendations and then also corrective measures and also moving forward. I will definitely be part of my statement, and I will go into detail in that regard.
Let's leave it for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
Maybe just to follow up from what the chairperson is saying, would I be correct to say that you, as the chairperson may well be saying, is that you've been following the commission and the testimonies of witnesses?
When I had time, I did follow the commission. I have a little bit of insomnia, so yes, I did, but not all the time. But obviously when it became alarming to me was 18 March at the end of the commission, and then 19 March. And then I will also then say what action I took immediately 20 March. So yes, mostly was for me concerning, although it isn't concerning when it comes to any law enforcement department, because you do look into it and then see if those things are happening in your department. So you don't just look at the commission where other matters was highlighted and you think it's, as long as they don't mention my department, it's not in my department. You do need to go see what is happening in your department. So in terms of that, yes, I did follow the commission.
Thank you. Please continue.
The structure of the statement is as follows. First, I deal with my appointment. That will be 8.1. 8.2, second, I deal at a high level with the procurement prescripts and my understanding. 8.3, third, I will deal with TMPD 02-2016/2017, which is the controversial tender for physical guarding of the city of Tshwane assets. 8.4, fourth, I deal with TMPD 01-2024-2025, which relates to the prevention of unlawful occupation and illegal occupiers of the city's assets. Now, the name of that tender is land invasion. 8.5, fifth and last, I would then like the commission to allow me to make some concluding remarks. And then 9, I want to again just put it on record. I will assist the commission as best as I can, including elaborating beyond the statement as may be required, and also if I have the information with me, but also if I don't have it, I will also submit if I have to. So let me start with my background and appointment. I'm currently, as I said, employed as a Chief of Police for the Tshwane Metropolitan Police Department from the 1st of October 2020 2023. I started my law enforcement career in Cape Town in 1998. I was employed by the City of Cape Town Traffic Services, and I was working my way up until I was a deputy commissioner. From deputy commissioner, I was acting as the chief of police from February 2016 until I left the employ of the City of Cape Town to start up, operationalize the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro Police Department. They were established, but they were not operationalized yet. So during that time, when I was in Nelson Mandela Bay, coming from Cape Town, going to Nelson Mandela Bay, it was quite a rude awakening. When I came to Nelson Mandela Bay, in terms of the staff, in terms of resources, in terms of putting systems in place, etc. I was there until I had a 5-year contract, and I was there until my contract obviously ran out. Then I applied by the City of Tshwane when I saw the position in the newspaper for the Chief of Police position at the Tshwane Metro Police Department. I was successful, and I started there first, as I said, 1st of October 2023. My qualifications include a national diploma in policing and also a BTEC degree in policing, both from UNISA. I have a traffic diploma, cum laude, that I obtained at Jean Low Traffic College in Brackenfell in Cape Town. And then I also did my municipal police qualifications at the SAPS Philippi College, also in Cape Town. Currently, commissioners, I'm the only female Metro Police Commissioner in the country. And also the national chairperson of the Metro Police Commissioners Forum, which is convened on a quarterly basis around the country where Metro Police departments are established. And I was also appointed as the Gauteng Province Community Safety Champion of Integration. I'm in possession of my security clearance certificate, which is on the level of top secret. It was renewed on the 3rd of December 2025, and it will be valid till the 31st of December 2030. I will now move over to my role at the TMPD. TMPD was established in April.
Sorry, Commissioner. Just to check mathematically, would you say that's over 15 years or so experience in the municipal policing environment?
It's actually more.
More. Okay. Thank you.
My role at the TMPD was established, in April 2002 in terms of Section 64A of the South African Police Service Act, number 68 of 1995, as amended. Like other Metro Municipal Police Service, the TMPD's function include traffic policing, bylaw enforcement, and crime prevention. I'm appointed as the executive head of the TMPD as per Section 64C of the Act, and in my role as such, I'm the Chief of Police for the TMPD. I exercise control over the entire TMPD, and I'm accountable to the Chief Executive Officer or the City Manager as per Section 64B of the Act. I'm an employee and official within the City of Tshwane Municipality Directorate, Community Safety. My rank and my designation is that of a Commissioner.
Commissioner, before you proceed, in practical terms, what does it mean that you are accountable to the City Manager? In practical terms, what does that mean?
Thank you, Commissioner. That is in terms of the SAPS Act. The City Manager will be my administrative head.
I asked the question because we've had a debate, if you like, in respect of Ekurhuleni, where there were issues about the power to appoint and the delegation of powers being removed and moved around at the instance of the city manager. And it turned on what does it mean that the chief of police is accountable to the city manager? Does it mean the city manager can, for example, step in and make appointments where the act says you're responsible for making appointments as chief of police, but the city manager is the accounting officer, and therefore the bearer ultimately of authority as CEO of the institution? Can she step in and make appointments that the SUBS Act says you're responsible for? So when I say practically, what does it mean? I'm trying to resolve that question.
Thank you, Commissioner. Although I'm the only one that's accountable to the city manager, the city manager cannot step in and start appointing my subordinates. I am the, if you look at the act, if I'm coming to that, is that by my functions is the next that I under 64C, 2A, 2H is my functions under the act. And it clearly says that I'm responsible for recruitment, appointment, promotion, and the transfer of members of the municipal police service. It's straight out of the act, Commissioner. So the city manager is just responsible for my appointment, and then my appointment must be endorsed by the council, city council. So you take it to council, and then they will endorse my appointment. So no, he cannot. The act is very, very clear. I'm responsible for recruitment, appointment, promotion, and the transfer of members of the TMPT.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. My role and functions are set out in section 64C, 2A, 2H. And I'm just going to briefly, I'm not going to put everything down, which I think is important for the Commission. I must maintain an impartial, accountable, transparent, and efficient municipal police service. Number 2, I already, but I will reiterate. I'm responsible for the recruitment, appointment, promotion, and the transfer of members of the municipal police service. Number 3, I'm responsible for managing discipline of the municipal police service. And then number 4 is just in terms of the annual policing plan, that I must make sure that that plan who sets out the priorities and objectives of the TMPD for the following financial year, provided that that plan, insofar it relates to prevention of crime, shall be developed in cooperation with SAP. So that plan we do every year, each and every commissioner on their own, but you must do it in hand with the provincial commissioner wherever you are deployed. And the provincial commissioner will sign off your annual police plan. Then in terms of 16.5, perform such duties as may from time to time be imposed by the chief executive officer, city manager, or a municipality, city manager of the municipality. So that means that the city manager can request or impose certain duties. And I'm the only one. As you can see, Commissioner, 16.5 is not saying and the Metro Police officers. It's only myself when it comes to the city manager. Then in terms of 17, over and above the aforesaid, my responsibilities are set out in my employment contract and relevant instrument which the applicable regulations and performance standards and plans, meaning that I sign a performance agreement and there is certain performance targets that I must meet. I must also, that is also hand in hand with the IDP of your municipality, the SDBIP, and you must make sure that you perform accordingly. And then in terms of 17, over and above the aforesaid, my responsibilities are set out. I think I've mentioned that one.
Sorry, Commissioner, maybe before you go further, I just wanted to highlight, would part of those instruments include the MFMA, the Municipal Finance Management Act?
Yes, it was also the Municipal Finance Management Act.
Okay.
Operational budget as well as capital budget.
Thank you.
Then in terms of 18, consequently, I have ultimate responsibility for all the operations of the TMPD as prescribed by the Act in executing of my duties. I am assisted by 4 appointed deputy commissioners, and I've got 1 vacant acting deputy commissioner post. If the commissioners will just allow me, I just want to elaborate a little bit when it comes to that, in terms of the responsibilities of the deputy commissioners that was appointed. I've got Deputy Commissioner Nomsa Nhlapo. She's responsible for regional policing. Now, regional policing in the city of Tshwane, I've got 7 regions in the city of Tshwane, of which region 1 is my Sosanguve, my Rietgat, Waatle, Mabopane, Roslyn, Winterveld, and Garankuwa. That is region 1. Region 2, in terms of the city of Tshwane, is my Hammanskraal, Wonderboom, Sinnerville, Temba, etc. Region 3 is where we are: CBD, Sunnyside, Hatfield, Arcadia, Atteridgeville. And region 4, Centurion, Oliven, that is my region 4, and all the others that goes with it. Region 5 and 7 is together because it's, if you look at Cullinan is region 5, and then we just put it together with Bronkhorstspruit. And then number 6 is Mamelodi and Eersterust. Those are the reasons that Deputy Commissioner Nomsa Nhlapo is responsible for. She's got 36 regional officers, same like the police stations we have in the city of Tshwane. She must make sure that she's got the deployment where the community are. So that we make sure that you're in the region and not deployed maybe from the headquarters in Pretoria West. In terms of Region 3, Pretoria West is also part of Region 3. Then in terms of Deputy Commissioner Son Bollys, he will also come before this committee because he was the caretaker from 1st of July 2024 until 28th of February 2025 of the APSS. So Deputy Commissioner Son Bollys is responsible for training and innovation, and he is also standing in as being my staff officer. Training and innovation is not only for when we have basic intake, it's also to make sure the skills of the Metro Police are sharpened, and we make sure that they are aware of if there's any regulation that changes or any act, and then refresher training, firearm shooting training, all of that to make sure that the officer can do his or her work outside. In terms of the Deputy Commissioner Umasi Dlamini, his responsibilities is administration and support, of which finance, fleet, HR-related matters, as well as internal affairs. Then there's Deputy Commissioner Revo Spies. I'm sure everybody knows Revo Spies by now.
So 18.3, Deputy Commissioner Umashi Dlamini. Does procurement fall under any of what you have itemized?
So say again, Commissioner.
Does procurement fall under any of the matters that you've itemized?
In terms of Deputy Commissioner Umasi Dlamini?
Yes.
Yes. Deputy Commissioner Umasi Dlamini is responsible for all administration and support, even if it comes to ARTO, if it comes to uniform, if it comes to supply chain management. So anything other than the operational field and APSS, he is responsible for.
Yeah, you're probably aware why I'm asking that question. I'm asking that question because evidence of the exchange of emails between Deputy Commissioner Dlamini and the CFO, Mr. Mnisi, has been laid before this commission. And that evidence related to procurement. So that's why I'm asking the question that I've just asked.
Yes, he's also responsible for procurement, is also falling under him.
Thank you.
But I'm sure, Commissioner, when we come to that, we will zoom in and then I can actually put it in context.
All right.
In terms of
Thank you.
where he was responsible and then if that also is part of his duties. So
Thank you.
I will assist the Commission in that regard.
Thank you.
In terms of Deputy Commissioner Rivo's piece, he is responsible for the Asset Protection and Security Services, a department within the Tshwane Metro Police Department. So if I say he's responsible for Asset Protection and Security Services, I refer to the assets of the municipality, whether it's the reservoirs, whether it is the substations, whether it is the libraries, whether it is any building of the municipality. He must make sure that there is no vandalism, no theft, no break-ins, and he must work hand in hand with the COO, which is the custodian of those assets. He is also responsible for the personnel to make sure they are safe where they are. That is his function. In terms of 8.5, Deputy Commissioner position for specialized policing is currently vacant. However, I've got an acting Deputy Commissioner there, Simon Mochwane. Now the specialized services is all the units within the Tshwane Metro Police Department, whether it's the freeway, whether it is the social crime prevention, whether it is cable theft, whether it is the ones that is dealing with the drug-related matters. All those units is under the Deputy Commissioner of Specialized Services.
And there are overlaps between that and 18.1, Deputy Commissioner responsible for regional policing.
The deputy responsible for regional policing is performing the three functions. She must make sure within a region she's doing the traffic enforcement, the bylaw enforcement, and the crime prevention. However, when something is complex, we send the units in. Because if you're only going to be work shifts, so if I'm going to deal with a complaint and I'm on rest day and I'm on night shift, then that complaint never gets dealt with. But if I give, for example, a bylaw complaint where you need to issue a fine, you need to follow up after 7 days, you need to make sure you then, because otherwise if you don't have that unit, sometimes the staff is not, I'm on a rest day, I don't hand over, the next one is giving a fine again, and that complaint gets never ever solved. They specializing in whatever complaints that we're dealing with, and they also make sure that whatever the complaint, if it's a long-term complaint, it runs its conclusion.
Thank you.
So you are correct, they do overlap. I do encourage, if they sit and plan, that if you have a drug problem in your region, you must make sure that you sit with your counterpart, whether it's the DOC unit, whether it is the unit that also assists with the drug-related, if it's at schools that you want maybe talks, you get social crime prevention in, that is a unit. So all that is, we encourage to do that because they won't be able to do all of those on their own. Thank you, Commissioner.
Sorry, Commissioner, thank you. Just to interrupt you before you go to paragraph 19, can I just ask you a few questions around your deputy commissioners?
Yes, you may.
If all of them, that's Nomsa, Sean Pole, Sumashi, and Rivers Peace, and the acting, how long have they been with the TMPD individually?
I appointed 3 deputies in my since 1st of October 2023 to date.
Sorry, I beg your pardon?
I appointed 3 of the deputies. Okay. I appointed Deputy Commissioner Nomsa Nslapo, 1st of June 2024. Together with Deputy Commissioner Son Bolais, they were appointed the same date. In terms of Deputy Commissioner Rivo Spies, I appointed him 1st of March 2025. Then in terms of Deputy Commissioner Umazi Dlamini, when I came, he was already at the TMPD Metropolis Department. And then in terms of the acting Deputy Commissioner Simon Mochwane, I've appointed him to act in that position until I'm going to fill that position.
And how long was Umashi Dlamini? How long has he been?
I think very, very long. Since the inception of the TMPT.
Okay.
He's been a Deputy Commissioner in a very, very long time. He's been staff officer with then Chief, the late Chief Ngumbeni, and then he was with he was with Commissioner Johanna Nkomo. So he is really for a very, very, very long time in the Tshwane Metropolis Department.
Thank you.
He's the longest serving Deputy Commissioner.
Longest serving. Okay. And then in terms of Mr. Spies, or Commissioner Spies, we understand that he had retired. Can you just explain how he got back to your unit?
He applied. The post was advertised.
Okay.
And he was the most competent person in the interview. He was exemplary in the interview.
Okay.
So he was the best candidate.
Was the best candidate.
Definitely the best candidate. That's why he was appointed.
Thank you.
Just before you leave the issue of the deputies, good morning, Commissioner Faru.
Good morning, Commissioner Kumalo.
In what I have renumbered 13.1, you say you are in possession of security clearance and you say it's a top level clearance. It's on page 5 of your statement. So I wanted to ask you, do your deputies also have in their possession the security clearance?
Commissioner, I'm going to be very honest with you. Not all of the deputies has got the clearance, SSA clearance.
Why is that? Is it a requirement or is it not a requirement?
As I said, it is a teething process to get your clearance. That is why I'm doing my clearance through SSA. It is a very long process also to do it. However, the commissioners of the Metropolis, the deputies of the Metropolis, the brigadiers of the Metropolis, they should all have this clearance. I know some of the deputies don't have. It was brought under my attention. Some were supposed to go, and or one was supposed to go and did not go. I know of that. In terms of the others, I know that they do have, and then maybe theirs must just be renewed.
But if they are your subordinates, is it not your responsibility to ensure that they have security clearance? Because in the earlier paragraphs, I think it's paragraph 7, you raised an issue about criminality and you say it shocked and dismayed you because the issues that have come out of this commission, according to you, amount to siphoning of money and criminal activities. And one of the people against whom these accusations are leveled is a deputy within the TMPD. So why has he not been subjected to a form of vetting or security clearance?
Commissioner, that is one of the things that we will have to sharpen up. I think we must be honest when we come to this commission. Maybe we have taken it for granted. This is one of the things that must be compulsory. If when I applied by the City of Tshwane, it was compulsory. It was one of what it was in the advertisement or one of the requirements that said that you must be security cleared. So I think it's important that this is one of the things that we will have to sharpen on and then it should be from the start.
Commissioner, can you please flag that it really should not wait for recommendations from this commission? You are responsible for appointment of deputies, so you should look into that. You don't have to wait for a report from this commission. And then on the issue of the members of the TMPD, I'm not talking about the deputies now, I'm talking about the entire force. Can you just give us a number, more or less, how many are there? TMPD
How many do I have? I will give you also, I knew you were going to ask that question. So I went to go make sure that I have the totals. I've got 3,626 Tshwane Metro Police Department officers, but I made sure, because remember, Commissioner, some retire, some, are not with us anymore, some resign, so I wanted the current total. So the current total is 3,626, and then I've got administrative staff, that's 245, and then I've got APSS, that's 1,271.
And can you tell us if they have been subjected to vetting, or if it is a requirement within TMPD that your 3,626 officers should be vetted?
Yes, Commissioner, we do that on an annual basis, because we make sure that we do that, because you can't get your firearm license renewed. We do not want to give somebody a firearm that's got a Section 102 or Section 103 against them. So we make sure that the fingerprints are taken. I've got a division that only does that, and we make sure that we test you and make sure that you are vetted. So yes, Commissioner, that is being done. I can promise you that. And we've picked up quite a lot of things, because if you obtain or are arrested when you maybe are on leave, or you will not pick it up. If it is that it's maybe in uniform, it's easier. So that is a mechanism for us as well in Tshwane, that we pick that up. So I can guarantee you that, yes, we are very strict when it comes to that.
I think you'll agree with me that we don't want criminals within the force.
Commissioner, one thing that I hate is a criminal in uniform.
Yes. And then the last one, sorry, I have to go back to the issue of security clearance, and I don't want you to reveal state secrets here. Maybe let's just keep it to what the terms of reference of this commission are, and maybe the allegations against Deputy Commissioner Dlamini. What does it entail if somebody has to undergo this process and they get a security clearance? What is it that SSA is looking for? And please don't disclose state security, and don't disclose how they go about the process. I'm just looking at what are they looking for to ensure that the wrong people do not get appointed to the senior positions.
Commissioner, I will just be very umbrella, because I just received my top secret, meaning I must make sure that I keep that top secret and I'm not arrested. So, Commissioner, obviously they look at your financials. They also look at your associates. They look at quite a few things. I think it is a very, very good. You go, with the top secret, you go for polygraph as well. You are subjected to a polygraph. They interview also people that you previously worked with, obviously family members, etc., etc. But it's quite an extensive process, and it's a very good process. Within SSA, they actually they also do the lifestyle audit, I will say. So I will say it's a very, very good assessment that they do. And it is something that should be written in your advert. So before you even, if you look at the advert and we know from the start you've got integrity. If you don't want to the job and you must go for your clearance, you must not even apply. Stay whatever you want to do. So I think it's important that we must bring it in, like you have said, Commissioner. We need to put it from certain levels. We need to put it in the advertisement and make sure you either going to object yourself to one, because we do know it is a process that we say that we will start the process with you, or that you will come with my one. They wanted me to come with my security clearance already.
Thank you. Justice Kakan.
Thank you, Commissioner. Please proceed. Apologies, perhaps before you go there, the 18.5, that's the vacant position. How long has this been vacant?
This position has been vacant for a while. We did start the process. I think we've started the process already. I'm speaking under correction twice or thrice. However, I'm not just going to appoint somebody because I must fill the position. I want to make sure the person is fit for purpose. So if I'm going to appoint a deputy commissioner for specialized services, it will be a person that will be able to perform the function. So I will rather, if the candidates are not fit, I will rather then make sure that we re-advertise. So that is the only reason why the position hasn't been filled yet.
Just to be clear, how long is a while?
When I came, it was already vacant.
Okay, thank you.
Can I continue?
Please.
The TMPD is a municipal police service of the Tshwane Metropolis, City of Tshwane, and we receive a budget allocation from the city to run its operations and to fulfill its mandate. As such, the officials of the TMPD work closely with city officials from other departments, both administratively and operationally. The TMPD does not procure services on its own. Instead, it is the city supply chain management finance department that does the procurement and management of contracts, authorizing services and payments of such services. However, we do play a role that we have to make sure that in the department of Deputy Commissioner Dlamini, that he needs to process the invoices and create certain documents in order to go to the CFO, accounts payable, and then he must also make sure there's checks and balances before it goes to the department of the CFO, who is responsible for the payment if they are happy with whatever the documents is submitted to them or on the system.
Payments are at a later stage of the process, that is after appointments have been made. In this sentence, you say that the TMPD provides input into the procurement process from inception. What role exactly does it play at those earlier stages, that is before an appointment has been made?
Are you referring to the tenders, Commissioner?
Let's look at, maybe you'll clarify what you mean. Let's look at your last sentence of paragraph 20.
Yes, that is what I mean, but...
However, the TMPD as the end user will provide input into the procurement process. I understand that to refer to stages before the actual appointment, because when you substantiated, you referred to a role that's played by Deputy Commissioner Lamini's section, that role being, or rather that role relating to payments.
Yes.
So my point is, payments are at a very late stage, which is the procurement process has actually been finalized. A contract is in place, and then there are payments to the successful bidder once services have been provided. So what I'm saying is you refer to procurement process, which I understand to refer to a stage before an appointment.
Commissioner, there's also, Chairperson, there is a stage before as a technical. If you want to procure any equipment,
yes,
you as the technical expert will have to assist, especially when it comes to the beginning stage BEC, or bid specifications BSc. You need to assist them with what exactly is the product that you as the law enforcer wants, because the civilian person won't know. So you will obviously, we will start with what is the end, what do you want the product to do? And then from them, you obviously work your way back. So there we assist with technical expertise. However, when it comes to the supply chain management, it is completely with the CFO. And he's also the chairperson of the BAC, and then etc. But we must give that technical, and even if we give the technical advice, there's always somebody from supply chain management that also guide them in terms of the supply chain management policy.
Just to make sure I understand, what you've referred to specifically is the bid specification.
Specifications.
Because TMPD will actually be the client in this instance.
Yes.
And therefore they should be involved in the bid specification, what exactly is required. You've specified there. Is there anything else that you would mention in which TMPD participates before the actual appointment, before the conclusion of a contract?
It should only be, as I said, as a technical advice to assist with that. But it should not be to be part of the supply chain management when it is their role. That is their role. So we should not be involved in that part.
Not in the bid evaluation, not in the bid adjudication, not at those stages of the process.
It must be the department of the CFO that must be involved in all of that, because there is, if people are also like, if this is they take it to the CFO, will identify where it must go, and then they will do it in terms of if you are meeting the requirements of obviously of the advertisement or of the product, and there are things that is non-negotiable. You must meet it, and then so they will do that type of make sure that whoever is there is compliant in terms of what they are looking for.
Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner, you're discussing the tender process, as I understand it. Can I just ask a slightly different question? We've had evidence about the procurement of ad hoc security services. Now, as I understood the evidence, the companies that are required or that are requested to provide that service are already on a panel, right? So you've done that tender process, and now you have a panel, and you must select ad hoc services from that panel. What is the role or the involvement of Deputy Commissioner Dlamini in that process of selecting who the companies that are invited to now provide ad hoc services at any site?
Commissioner, that should be with APSS. That should be strictly with the Asset Protection Security Service Department, because that's why you've got people appointed there that will fulfill that role.
So that will fall under Deputy Commissioner Spies? Yes,
100%, Commissioner.
Okay. Maybe then explain a little bit more. What do you mean when you say that Deputy Commissioner Dlamini is involved with procurement? You have clarified the payment processes, invoices. But apart from that, what does it mean that he's responsible for procurement?
His role is administration and support. Meaning if you're an operational person, you won't know the SCM processes or procurement processes, or how to get to the procurement. So he is there to support, assist them to if I am if I am specialized services and I require maybe dog food, for example, he must assist me, and I am the person that know what the dogs need. If they need nutrition, if they need a vet, when must they get the injections, etc. So I will have that. He will make sure that I do it the correct way, because as an operational person, you won't know how to follow that. So they will have to assist, but they can also do it on their own, but they can go to him to ask for assistance as well.
Sticking with that example, that kind of procurement, it doesn't go to the CT. it is something that gets sorted out at TMPD level. Is that what your explanation means?
No, all procurement goes to the city. We don't ourselves procure. No, Commissioner. All procurement processes are finalized by the CFO.
Okay,
It goes to the CFO, it goes to the BAC.
okay,
All procurement. There's nothing that TMPD on their own will have their own little BACs and that. We will just be as I said, we will assist in attending because we are the expert and we will also assist in getting the specifications right. However, everything is with the CFO. We do not have a department. He doesn't have his own department. He is also not a CFO.
okay. Just to make sure I understand. So the administrative person or operational person that you say must obtain or get dog food, that's a person sitting at the city, not TMPD.
Not TMPD at the city.
Thank you. That clarifies it. Thank you.
At the city.
I think we sort of got lost, Commissioner Faru, because when Commissioner Baloyi asked you a question, she had moved on from a normal tender process and was asking about ad hoc security services. And the question was, in that process, does TMPD play a part? And I had understood the evidence we had before the Easter break to be that the person who issues purchase orders is actually somebody from the TMPD. So I'm a little confused now when you say it's the city, it's not TMPD. Because then how does Mr. Mnisi, and we'll come to him later on, how does he get involved in all these things that we've come to know about?
Commissioner, yes, I think there's a little bit of confusion. If it is, remember that tender or that month-to-month is already in place.
Yes.
So yes, there will be a creation by our side. However,
and when you say your side, TMPD?
It will be TMPD, it will be by administrative, it will be under administrative and support.
Yes.
They will create that. But in order for them, and then the invoice must come, the person responsible by APSS must make sure the invoice that he must make sure it gets stamped, and yes, we did deploy 10 security guards ad hoc at the Madlanga Commission. And then it must be verified because we also have people that go check. We must make sure that your check-in is verified. So once that invoice, then you're supposed to only process that invoice.
So to that extent, TMPD does play a part in procurement? Yes,
if it comes to that part. But when it comes to payment, it goes to the CFO to pay. After he has also is satisfied that the documents, that we've done our checks and balances.
And Commissioner, why are you trying to implicate the Madlanga Commission now? You're putting us on trial, and that was not the purpose of the question.
I've got a punchline when I'm done.
Are you forcing Chair to come and give evidence now?
I've got a punchline, Commissioner, when I'm done.
Thank you.
Can I just interfere or continue so that we follow this? Are you saying that in the entire procurement process, other than at specification stage, the TMPD does not play a role? For example, no one from TMPD would sit in the BEC committee, in the bid evaluation committee?
But the evaluation committee is the chairperson there is the CFO if it comes to the city of Tshwane. He is the chairperson of the bid evaluation committee.
I'm just following up from the question from the chair. Would there be someone from the TMPD?
TMPD play a role with the, like we said, with the bid specifications. Like today, Deputy Commissioner Spies is in the BEC. He will be there. But with the bid evaluation committee, the chairperson there is the CFO. So yes, we do play a role. However, the chairperson is there. The CFO is the chairperson there.
Okay, thank you. And
say bid evaluation committee is chaired by the CFO. You mean the bid adjudication committee?
The BAC.
BAC.
BIC.
Yes, thank
The
you.
BIC is the chairperson.
And who is the,
Just to make, please go ahead,
no,
please go
that's
ahead.
fine, I was just
Mr.
following up,
Speaker.
but
Oh,
go
all
on, Chair.
right, all right. Just to make sure I understand, I understood perfectly when you said that the TMPD plays a role in the bid specification process. That I understood, because it's the client, as it were. So, and it is a TMPD that knows what they want.
Yes.
Now you said Deputy Commissioner Spies is at the, did you mean
BEC.
BE, Bid Evaluation
Question
Committee, not adjudication, so BEC.
Yes.
What role exactly does he play there? Is he a member of the BEC, or does he have observer status?
Obviously, he will have to make sure also when he's there as the product expert, let me put it that way.
Is he a member? Is he a member?
Yes, he will then be a member, and he will be then appointed by the city manager, gives you that letter.
Okay. That's exactly what I was trying to establish earlier when I asked you what role exactly the TMPD plays. And what you emphasized was the role that it plays in the bid specification process. So I now hear something additional, which is participation even in the BEC.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you may have left out?
You've
Just
said
in the
that.
procurement process.
If you appoint, although you have the administration and support, but if you have a product expert, that person will be the project manager from TMPD. I just wanted to add that, and it will come into context later. So if
Please repeat that, I'm not sure.
if say Deputy Commissioner Spies is now by the BEC, so it won't be that the Deputy Commissioner of Admin and Support is running that role, or it will be Deputy Commissioner Spies because it is in relation to his product or his area or his scope.
Yes.
So that is why he is there. I just wanted to make that clear. That's why he is there.
So if it relates to
So
some other section, it will be another
will be-
deputy, the relevant deputy.
You are correct,
All right,
Chair.
thank you.
You are
Thank you.
correct. Relevant to the product.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Commissioner.
Chair.
can I just, I do apologize that we said we'll try and not interrupt you, but I just want to clarify a few things, Chair, and I wouldn't want to saddle you with picking up files, but I just put it on the record. That's file 2 and page 1. Could you please just assist? Now, this is at specification level for the initial tender, the security tender. Let's just, page 1 of file 2. Are you there, Commissioner?
I'm there. Thank you.
Thank you. So you'll see this relates to, you'll see that relates to the security tender TMPD 02, 2015-2016. At the top.
The number before the years 2015 slash 2016 is smudged.
Yeah.
On my copy, I assume it's the same with
Apologies, Chair. I'm just making one point. Truly, it's not relevant as such. But what we.
But from the content, do you agree with Mr. Skakane that that's the tender?
I just want to, Commissioners, as you can see there, if you go to contact person, for example, and the person there, as I explained now, That was the product expert.
Before you go there, do you want to please confirm what Mr. Sikakane wanted you to confirm, which is the tender number? Whether it's what, 02, Mrs. Kakane?
Is it?
Apologies, it looks like 02.
This is O2.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, all right.
Essentially, my point is that obviously this relates to guarding services. But what we see there is as a contact person, as you started, is Director Malachi. Who's
Correct.
Director Malachi?
Director Malachi is the Director for Protection Services by IPSS.
And ordinarily, does he report to you?
He reports to Deputy Commissioner Spies.
Okay. And then, so this is at this point of specification. If we go further, at page 202, I do apologize.
Where do we see here, Mr. Sikakane, that this is about specification? Just refer us to the relevant part.
Oh, apologies, Chair. I think it's literally from the point where it's starting from a, what's this thing? Compulsory briefing session for the tender. But it's not that there is a word
All
that
right,
says
okay.
specification.
All right. All right, please continue.
Thank you. But I'll refer to Chair, but at 202, this is the process. This is where this tender is being at valuation level, and it states in the middle of the page there's PD valuation committee members. You see that?
Yes, I see it.
And you see that Mr. Chugudu Malachi is part of the BEC.
Yes, I see.
Okay. Thank you. The point I was just making is the involvement of TMPD in the entire process. Thank you, Chair.
Perhaps, Commissioner, Mrs. Kakane, the answer to the chairperson's question, you find it in file 1 at page 57. That's part of the, I think that document is called the Supply Chain Management Policy. If you go to page 57, and then paragraph 2 right at the bottom tells you who constitutes the BEC, and paragraph B thereof. Do you see where I'm reading, Commissioner? That file 1 that had your statement.
Oh, and that's file 2.
The one that has your statement?
On my statement?
Yes,
Okay.
the file that has your statement.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
At page 57, so
Yeah.
this is the supply chain management policy that we are looking at, and at 57, 2B, it tells you who, in fact, 2 tells you who makes up the BEC, and B says it will be composed of officials from the departments requiring the goods and services. I think that's the answer to the chairperson's question, who is in the BEC and what is their role. You see that?
Yes, I see that, Commissioner.
Thank you.
I see that, Commissioner.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Skakan.
Thank you. Please
Thank you,
proceed.
Commissioner.
Is there anything that stops Mr. Mnisi from appointing an official from TMPD into the BAC? Is that precluded? Because he's the one who constitutes these committees. Is there anything that stops him from appointing the same Mr. Malachi to be a member of the BAC?
Commissioner, If I can see what you are referring to, then I can maybe. I know that evidence leader has now pointed out in terms of the BEC and as well as the BS conditions that was now that Commissioner Beloya has now made clear here. If there's any way that you, if we come there, if you can just point that out for me so that I can just look at that evidence.
So in page
57.
Paragraph 2B there says, sorry, on page 57 of Annexure YF1,
Yes.
Commissioner Baloy referred you to the bid evaluation committee and its composition. And the main paragraph 2 says all the standing BECs established by the accounting officer must, and then B says composed of officials from the departments requiring goods and services. So those are the end users. And then if you go to page 59, I'm not sure if this is the rest of the policy. There seem to be the concluding pages missing. But it deals with the composition of the bid adjudication committee, and you see that in 2.24.3. And I had understood you to be saying earlier that the CFO is responsible for the procurement process, so he will appoint members of these committees. And my question was, is there anything that precludes him from appointing a commissioner's peace or a Mr. Malachi to be members of the BAC? So it is all tied to Chair's question, does the TMPD play any role in the procurement process? And we've established that at specifications they are there. We've established that at evaluation they should be there, the policies say so. So the last leg of it is, in the adjudication phase, is there anything that precludes the CFO from appointing a TMPD official to be a member of the adjudication committee?
Commissioner, my understanding is that the accounting officer is appointing. The accounting officer.
The city manager?
The city manager.
So is there anything that precludes the city manager from appointing a commissioner's peace to be a member of the BAC?
You're talking about the city manager?
Yes. Remember, we concerned with whether TMPD plays any role in the adjudication process. And I had understood your earlier answer to be they don't play a role there. But my question is there anything that stops whoever the appointing authority is from appointing a TMPD officer or any of the deputies or even you to sit in the BAC to evaluate or adjudicate a particular tender? And to be fair to you, Commissioner, if you are not sure, maybe you can provide the answer at a later date or through a supplementary statement, because it's going to be important when we make our recommendations. If we see that there are gaps in how security services are procured, then we should close that gap as well. So
yes,
if you don't have an answer right now, it's unfair of me to, on the spot expect you to give the answer. It's something that if you're not sure, you can deal with it at a later stage.
Commissioner, I will prefer to give a supplementary in that regard. I want to make 100% sure. I want to dot my I's and make sure that I look at all the, I could look at the MFMA, I look at the SEM. I really want to give a proper answer. So, and you are correct. So if there is maybe recommendations that we can put in place, and if it is that something has happened or it can happen in future, we will have to make sure that that doesn't repeat itself again, or maybe if it hasn't happened in future, it can happen in future. So I will prefer that I get that homework, and then I will give the supplementary a detailed one also, and quote also from the SCM policy, and also look at all the municipal sorts of policies and how it can be done. So if I can be able to get homework, I will prefer that.
If I understand Commissioner Kumalo's question correctly, it relates to the appointment of members of the bid adjudication committee. I want to take you back to the BEC, the bid evaluation committee, and paragraph 2 at page 57, which Commissioner Malloy referred you to. I see there's reference there to the word standing. All the standing BECs established by the accounting officer must, then AB, and so on. I just want to focus on the word standing. What's the import of that word here? Does it suggest that there are standing BECs and also ad hoc BECs, or what exactly is the import of that word?
Commissioner, how I understand it, if you in that relation, it must be a BEC that is obviously signed off by the accounting officer. I cannot have my own BEC. It must be standing BECs established by the accounting officer. That is how I understand it. My main 2 words I'm taking from there, or 3 words, is it must be established by the accounting officer.
I do realize, of course, that as the commissioner of the TMPD, you are not necessarily an expert in procurement. So perhaps we are putting you in a difficult position.
No, that is very good, Commissioner.
Sorry. Sorry, you said what?
I said, no, Commissioner, this is very good.
Yes.
You cannot walk away from here and you don't learn.
Yes,
or maybe you've read it. I've read it 1,000 times.
Yes.
But I see Commissioners breaking it down. So it gives me. I'm learning something, and it's good to learn.
Yes.
So as you say that I'm not an expert when it comes to supply chain management, obviously.
Yes, yes. Of course, it does not, I'm not suggesting that you know nothing about it, not at all. Perhaps when you do that supplementary affidavit, you may also just want to touch on the import of the word standing in 24.22, paragraph 20, clause 24.22. But of course, if somebody with more knowledge on matters relating to procurement will be called, then is that person who may
Don't give my homework away, Commissioner.
The necessary evidence
So
in this
I will write it out 20 times.
Thank
and
you.
I won't forget.
Thank you. Yes, Mrs. Kakani.
Sorry, before that, maybe Commissioner, as you do that exercise, you should look, when you look at 24, 1B, it's the one that speaks about a standing bid evaluation committee. And then it tells us what committees those are. I think it's a services infrastructure and corporate services. Those are your standing committees. And then when you then go on to another paragraph, 25.15 at page 59, it says the accounting officer may appoint other special BECs as and when the need arises. So keep that in mind. But also look at the functions of the standing committees. So for example, you will find somewhere that the corporate services standing committee, BEC, is also responsible for TMPD tenders, among others. So maybe that whole 24-25, look at that as you try to resolve who's responsible for what.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. And of course, I think other people from SEM are still going to come. Perhaps they will also try and break down these issues about the BECs. In terms of the budgets, from the specification stage onwards, how do you have any knowledge how that is dealt with? So, for example, for these security services, what informs the budget and how far, what powers would the user department have in relation to budget? So, for example, if it's 800 million, how would it be determined?
It's the amount of sites that is allocated, and then how many sites that needs to be guarded. And then obviously it will be make sure that the amount that must be paid to the service provider, how many cards, and then that will be you will times that per month, and then obviously by 12. So that actually informs the budget.
Yeah, okay. Then what I'm trying to get at is whether, for example, let's say a certain official that is responsible, Mr. Malachi, for example, and I'm not picking on him, he would inform in the specification meeting or committee that we require this budget for these services or for this tender, and then let the other members know that this is what we require, let's say 800 million, and then who has the final decision on the actual funds? That would be the value. Would it be the CFO?
The budget it's every year, so the budget is already there. So in terms of how many, we've got, as I said, we've got in-source security, that is, we've got in-source and outsource security. Now the in-source is the 1,271 that we have.
So and perhaps maybe let me clarify my question, and I do apologize. If in a scenario where the budget, is there no way of checking whether the budget requested is higher than what it should be?
The budget as requested is linked to how many sites are being guarded. If there's more budget that is required, for example, if there may be, you require more guards at the site because of vandalism and break-in, say you only had one, but because of whatever situation, you need to require more. However, there must be a reason why you put additional guards. That is what, when I stumbled across the ad hoc, I wanted to know what influenced ad hoc? What is your definition of ad hoc? Because you cannot just put additional guards, but nothing has happened to influence that. That is just for me logic. What made you put additional guards there? That for me, it was the crux that I would like to go in more deeper when I come to that topic, why I stopped the ad hoc deployment. If I will be allowed, commissioners, if I can do that. I would really want to, what made me stop it, and I would like to go more deep into that when I come to that paragraph or that heading.
Thank you. Please proceed. We will come back to it. So you had, I think you will start with paragraph 21.
I'm at 12 of 23.
Sorry, to your statement, if you file one, please, apologies. That is file 1. So paragraph 20, we were dealing with paragraph 20 of your statement.
Yes,
Please
paragraph 20.
proceed to paragraph 21.
In my capacity as the Chief of TMPD and the accounting officer, I do sign service level agreements drafted by legal services and supply chain management, which relates to TMPD insofar as I may be so authorized directly or through a delegation. Where necessary, I delegate signing powers.
This is probably a small matter, but I'm used to the concept accounting officer in relation to
TMPD.
in this.
To TMPD.
Yes. Is that term
Yes,
ever
Commissioner.
used? Is it ever used? I know of only one accounting officer, which
That's the
would
city
be
manager.
the city manager, yes.
So in my capacity as the Chief of Police of TMPD, I do sign service levels agreement.
I'm not saying you are wrong, you know it better.
No, I think,
It's
no,
just
Commissioner.
that, it's just that I'm not used
I agree.
to. Yeah.
I agree, Commissioner.
All right. So we scratch out and accounting officer.
And accounting
in this
officer.
sentence.
Agreed.
All right, thank you.
Agreed, Commissioner.
Thank you.
I have sufficient experience in municipal policing and management of municipal policing, as stated above, since 2016. I've been at the helm of municipal police departments. This position requires you to have ultimate responsibility and oversee the running of the department. However, commissioners, do not forget, I have deputy commissioners as per page 7, because you cannot expect the president of the country must be responsible for the whole country. That's why he's got ministers. So the same with me. I'm not abdicating my responsibility, definitely not. That's why I meet with my deputy commissioners Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. On a Monday, deputy commissioner of admin and support is only joining, because on a Wednesday, midweek, we want to see how the crime look. Friday, prepare for the weekend. And then I have a special budget meeting every month. There was times that I didn't have it due to reasons. However, that is the measures I put in place to make sure that I can also have my finger on the pulse. I must continue to caution that my role is management, and therefore I rely on the information provided to me from the deputy commissioners or acting deputy commissioners or any other person who is authorized to perform such. You must also be aware of the various dynamics that have plagued municipalities, such as fraud and corruption. Procurement best practices in terms of the law, regulations,
Apologies, Commissioner. Chair, I'm not certain where the time for breaking, whether it would be 11 or 11:15 before we start this new topic.
11. So you,
11.
or you want us to
may I request
adjourn
that
now
we break
before
at
we
this
start
point?
the procurement best practices?
Correct.
Let's adjourn and resume at 25 past 11.